Mars needs Botox.
I can't physically throw up in my mouth on command, so I apologize.
That's one way to react to the start of this podcast episode. Welcome to Cheap Seat Critics Podcast, Season 6, Episode 3, I believe that's the order we're in currently. I don't know. I don't have it written down. On the far left today, we have...
Geeky Rider. Hello.
I'm Crimson Maroon.
I'm a character called Sinister Boy.
And I'm Sprinks, and we are covering today Mars Needs Moms. And I have such high excitement in my voice for this film. If you've seen our session 0 way back of Art and All That Glitters to go over things, when I was discussing movies that are generally in the 1 section, this came up. So I thought it would be fitting for the season. Let's begin with some history on the film. Ryder, what's your history with this movie?
Never heard of it before. And my history with it now is, it might bring back, some alcohol addictions. I don't know. It was quite an interesting experience to try and get through. Sober, that's for sure. I've seen it once, and I will never watch it again. Audience, run as far as you can.
Well, don't run too far. You probably want to hear the ratings of how it goes.
Well,
Crimson,
you're only watching it once because you want to preserve the glory of it, right? You don't want to screw it up with a second viewing.
Sure,
that's what it is.
We'll go with that.
He doesn't want to dirty it.
I remember seeing the trailers when this was coming out. I remember it not looking good. We'll find out my opinions throughout. And it is an infamously bad movie. And that's all I recall from it. And I saw it the one time for this podcast. Dunzo.
Wow, right. you know he's really done when he says Dunzo. It's a good point for later. This movie really activated something in my lizard brain where I started to peel back the wallpaper that I plastered over any memory I had of this movie. And that once I finished it, I realized, I remember seeing a trailer for this in theaters, I'm pretty sure. And I remember seeing freaking the poster everywhere, like the theater at the time. And I think everybody was convinced this was going to be a big smash movie because it was Disney. And at the time, they were making a lot of smash movies. And I remember it just disappeared. And I didn't, at the time, I was too young to really look into did it get bad reviews or da-da-da-da. I was just like, usually I just assumed if something just disappeared, probably wasn't very good. And I was right. Not very good.
Well, you're telling me your instincts weren't wrong?
Yes, my instincts as a small child were not wrong. I was very much correct. So yes.
Oh boy, and my history, I guess, goes next. I saw this in theaters with my family when it came out. It was not my choice to see. It was, I think, I can't recall whose choice. It was just like, family movie, let's go see it. From that day, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I had not seen it at all until now. So 12 years later, watched it. And the only difference I can think of between then and now is I caught a little more references and adult jokes. That's it. There are parts of it that I completely forgot and blanked out. Thank goodness for my brain doing so. And that's about it.
So as an adult, obviously all the stuff you caught now saved the film, right?
I wouldn't use saved.
Yeah, nor would I.
I think it's like putting a little bit of seasoning on a pile of dog shit. I mean, doesn't really change much.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down, AVGN. Come on, man.
So I do have to say, just as one factoid before you take away with your hosting facts, Springs, my I have 3,000 words for notes for this film.
3,000.
3,000, yeah.
Good Lord. Well, you did. Ryder did state in a group message. He said he's only, what was it, 5 minutes into the film, 5 or 10 minutes in, and you had 5 paragraphs written.
Yep. That is just for the record. That is more than my daily 3 hour of fiction writing. That's usually about where that ends up.
There's just so many details. All right, well, I'll begin with the facts then I have of this film. So the initial release date was March 11th, 2011. Keep that in mind, March 11th. That'll come back later. Box office, actually, we'll start with the budget. Budget was $150 million USD. The box office was $39.2 million USD. So they didn't quite reach their goal of hitting par.
Was that global or domestic?
I think that was domestic.
And then they don't even account for probably the PR and all that stuff and all the
Marketing, yeah.
Marketing it. Sorry, I couldn't remember the word. Yeah, marketing. So it was probably even double that.
Probably.
Usually the rule.
The runtime was an hour and 28 minutes. Thank goodness it was not an hour and a half movie.
It still felt too long.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
It was directed by Simon Wells. The rating is PG. Genre family adventure.
Not to be confused with H.G. Wells.
No.
Yes.
And then I have 6 fun facts for you. First one.
Fun facts.
Oh, well, those are just the standard facts. Now I got the fun ones. And the little more conversational things. We got
Please
the
tell me
kindling,
one
now
of
we got
them.
the fire.
Please tell me one of them is a live-action remake announcement.
No.
Oh, darn.
No. This movie was 3 years in the making. So they put time into it.
The visuals
Fact
look
number
good.
1.
I mean, nobody would say that
the
this
visuals
is
were neat, I guess. Question mark.
Something we'll
Sick
talk
fact.
about, I'm sure.
Brie Larson auditioned for Key. She
I
didn't get
think-
it.
You know
I think that
what?
actually
I
would've been
can't.
okay.
I can't see her with the '70s tude. I can't.
I can, but that's just I'm a little bit more imaginative, I think.
Honestly, I think that would have made Key worse.
Yeah, maybe.
I have, it's not necessarily a fact, but it's a quote
Mhm.
reported from Hollywood Reporter on March 14th,
Are you sure?
2011. So 3 days after the movie came out.
Yep.
The quote reads, "The right audience came, but not in the numbers we needed. Disney president of worldwide distribution Chuck Vian said, 'I'm disappointed for the filmmakers. They spent at least 2 years of their lives making a terrific movie that people won't see.'"
And shouldn't.
What is he on? Because whatever he's on, we all definitely need to be on.
He's
I want whatever he's smoking.
he's a freaking CEO class, so he's trying to cover it and make it sound much better than it actually is.
Coping, yes.
He's riding on the Marvel high of 2011, right before Avengers comes out next year.
And he's like,
He knew it was going to
he's
happen.
like, you know what? He's like, I'm going to cover this movie, but we're not worried.
Next we have Simon Wells landed the directing gig because of his close associate. Oh, I'm cutting myself up. I'm sorry. Please take all these facts with a little grain of salt. Who knows how true and false they are? So
Yeah.
don't take,
Well,
don't
and he's
believe
not even
everything
citing his.
but I'm just
Sprinks made all this up. Even
This
the
Yeah,
box
he's not
office.
even-
It only made $1.
But I'm just saying that now.
Yeah, he's not even
Apologies.
citing his sources. Come on, guys, be real here.
I cited the last one, Hollywood Reporter.
Well, yeah, but you didn't cite their sources. You got to cite the
No, I
additional
didn't.
one.
I don't know. I don't say no. Anyway, so Simon Wells landed the directing gig because of his close association with producers Robert Zemeckis. The two had worked together on Who Framed Roger Rabbit in 1988, Back to the Future 2 in 1989, Back to the Future Part 3 in 1990, and The Polar Express in 2004.
One of those movies is good.
Yeah, Polar Express.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'd say 4 of those movies are good. I would say only a handful are great. But With a
Jesus
budget of 150 million and a total gross of 39 million, this movie is considered a massive box office bomb and has the worst ever financial reputation of a film branded by Disney. Its commercial failure contributed to Disney canceling its planned remake of Yellow Submarine from 1968, which was to be made with the same motion capture technology,
Oh,
as
thank
well
God.
as Imagine Movers canceling other projects such as a film based on the Nutcracker, a Who Framed Roger Rabbit sequel, and a kaiju genre throwback film called Calling All Robots.
That
Okay.
last one actually sounded pretty
Okay.
interesting.
The motion capture audience is not the problem with this movie. And I don't know what other films could have turned out to be.
Disney always gets
but-
the right takeaway from their failures, Ryder. You know this.
Got a point.
I should have poured myself a shot of vodka before we started.
No.
It's the mocap.
You need
Oh,
to be
stupid.
sharp and on alert for this.
Whoa! Before we derail into the movie, I have one more fun fact here. While
All right,
Zemeckis
come on, say it.
survived, director and DreamWorks animation alumni Simon Wells and co-producer Steve Starkey and Jack Rapke, I believe, ultimately did not. Wells has not directed or written another film, and his screen credits past this are a story artist for DWA Films, while Starsky and Rap's careers began fading off of Earth over the next year.
Fading off of Earth.
Yeah,
Good.
good way to put it.
So their careers died here.
Whew, thankfully,
Oh.
that's saving a lot of people.
Well, I don't know. I think art-wise, they deserve some credit, but yeah, they shouldn't have helmed this whole movie. Fair.
No,
Crime
anyway,
against art.
Because I'm sure they weren't like, "Hey, can we direct this one?" It was just like, "Okay, you got to direct something. Here's your shot. Direct this," and then it's like, "Oh, this is awful. I don't want to direct
Well,
this."
then
And,
turn down the job.
and then they'll be like, "Yeah, there's no other job after this. You do this or you don't do anything."
Yeah, he also had a gun to his head, but
I'm just saying, there's a freaking a hierarchy and everything, and where it's like, okay, yeah, you do the work, you get in, and then you get your shot, and usually it's a shit show, and you gotta just bear with it. Very often do you get to pick your shot, or very, very, very seldom do you get to pick your shot.
Yeah. Audience, don't forget to engage with us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, LetterBox. We're all there. Feel free to comment.
Thank
and
you.
Yell at us how much you love this movie and hate our interpretation, or how much you agree with us because this movie's fucking terrible. Springs, I'll let us roll it back to you.
Yes.
thank you, writer. I should have listed somewhere in my schedule of this when for you to put that out because I completely forgot. So thank you. Our format is going to be linear, but in popcorn. So if we skip a scene, we skip a scene.
Oh,
But
fuck.
basically from beginning to end. But hopefully it's not scene by scene because we know how long those take, and this movie I don't think deserves that. So let's start off with talking about the custom logos they made for this movie.
all right.
How they put more effort, not more effort than the film, but more effort into the movie by making the Walt Disney logo, I guess, Mars orange.
Under the red sun. It looks cool. I like it.
And then the Image Mover Digital have Mars as their orb or whatever instead of the normal classic red ball they use.
So yeah, I missed both of those because I was looking at my notebook.
You're already starting, huh? Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, my first
enjoyed.
Sorry, you were saying.
No. I just in the title sequence. I enjoyed that the title of this movie was so small. I barely registered it if I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't see the title of the movie because I was already scribbling notes.
Yeah, it was on the Mars rover. It was in the sand, and it was almost the exact same color as the sand.
Oh, that explains why I
Was
didn't see
it?
it.
What?
It was literally. Well, I mean, it was close.
I thought it was
It was
black.
a white type.
then like
This wasn't
white
it?
type,
Whatever.
which
I
had
mean-
like Mars lingo, the Shepherd's Journal
It was-
looking stuff.
Yes, but it was the exact same size as if you had like like time and day, Mars. It was that small in the corner. So they had a lot of faith in the project. That's what I'm saying.
I was already angry when they showed my rovers, my favorite rovers in this movie, because they don't need to drag them into this. My poor babies.
Oh,
Please
but
leave
they
them alone.
did. And it
I'm aware.
Yeah,
They found fossils on Mars.
No, they found
How
water on
awesome is
Mars.
that?
They found Mars on Mars.
They were saying that they found fossils on Mars in the beginning of this.
See, maybe my scientific brain just filtered that into like the truth, which is we found evidence of water.
Yeah. So I guess that's proof that they were once on the surface of Mars.
But why
Don't know
did
why
they
they
go
are no
below?
longer on the surface of
Yeah.
Mars.
No, they still
I
have a
would
base
think-
on the surface of Mars. They're still on the surface. They still operate there.
that's true. They
It's
operate.
interesting that we don't see their operations on Mars.
It's odd to me that the oh god, I forget the name. The leader, whoever
The supervisor?
supervisor. Thank you. Supervisor's like, oh, we've always been raised by machines, and I'm trying to think. We don't know the lifespan of Martians here, but if she's been around since all the development
Well-
underground, because nothing's topside other than the sun beams.
Well, she looks
Yeah,
ancient,
the giant
so
lenses.
Yeah, the only things that are topside is the rocket temporarily, because they go through the effort of hiding it, even though they have a
Mhm.
surface base like 100 feet away.
it's with camo. Go on.
Sure.
Well, the base pops out from underground.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Everything pops out from underground except the lenses, I think.
Yeah, the lenses
They
are
were
always.
just kind of there.
The lens and the pod that keeps whatever
Were the
moth.
lenses up when they got there?
Yeah.
I
Or
would
they,
guess,
like-
but they were not around when
Yeah.
they arrived.
Yeah. Anyway.
Ryder, question for you, since you're more of the space rover knowledge. Does a rover detect movement underground?
No. I don't think they were designed to do that explicitly. They can drill into things, and they can deal with earthquakes because Mars is a planet. It also has continental shifts and earthquakes and things like that. But I don't think they can detect like explicitly movement underground. If there was movement sharp enough to move the rover, I would register probably as more of an earthquake.
Yeah.
Okay. Just curious on that.
Seems like it would have a seismograph or something.
Yeah, like I said,
But like I said,
Yeah,
it'd be reticent.
But probably, but to register, it would probably have to be enough where the rover itself would be in danger, and not just general movement.
We get to see that they just hatch from the ground. However that
Yeah, they
works.
never go into that, do they? That's
they
that's
just
a weird one.
spring up through the dirt. It's all right.
Every 25 years or so, they just spring out of the dirt.
For 25 years.
No idea how.
And they look
No.
creepy. I mean, like, creepy.
Well, they're Martians.
Yeah.
No, even if they weren't Martians, they'd still be
That's
creepy.
speciesist.
It's
is.
speciesist.
Dare you.
Yeah.
Hey, the humans look pretty creepy in this too. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, everything looks weird. One thing, I guess when they're using the spy technology stuff,
Mhm.
it can take anywhere from 2.5 minutes to about 20 minutes for light to reach Mars at its closest and its furthest, respectively. So spy technology is fucking great, but it doesn't work because light needs time to travel.
See, the thing is, they figured out how science works in real life. We just perceive what we think science is. They know what science is. Okay, so you're just wrong. I'm sorry. It's not a good
Simpson, you
okay.
need to be a little careful. You could spark a whole half-hour discussion of science right now.
I mean, okay, so they actually
Obviously,
Yeah,
I'm being
yeah.
facetious. Okay,
they could fix this. I mean, it is a quick fix, but we don't see them do this. They could just have their rocket orbiting Earth and using their wormhole to transport back, which is actually a feasible place of space travel. I appreciate that, and then they can signal through the wormhole to their rover. Like that's how they transmit their spying.
Yeah.
But we know they don't really leave until later, so it is a quick fix that would have, I don't know, it would have fixed the sci-fi aspect and to make it more feasible, I suppose.
I wonder what the mom to robot ratio is. Because
We see like a
they
50 of
don't
them.
nab too many moms from what we see. There's a lot of robots.
I think they nab a mom every 25 years.
Is that what they said?
Well,
We have
it's
no
the
proof one way or another.
Really
Well,
unlucky that the last mom they stole as well just happened to also bring a kid along with her.
Yeah.
That's true.
It seems so. Every single time there's what if every single time there's a kid aboard or something?
Well, they obviously shot them. What a
Yeah.
well-functioning society to have.
Yeah,
It works.
that's what I'm thinking. Every 25 years, when they need to go out and get a mom, the mom goes to all the bots used. So it's just how many are hatched that year.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That yeah.
There's also the convenience that they bring up. Mom bots can only be used once, which is just stupid.
Yeah, that's very dumb. And also,
Hey,
we don't
yeah,
necessarily know if their hatchling has burst out every 25 years. So like, you know, they have different groups of hatchlings that come out every year, but they just hatch every 25 years. So like they put their eggs in the ground or whatever, and they grow 25 years before hatching. And then, you know, they just happen to have it every year.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about eggs.
Yeah, the world building's broken, shocker,
Eggs.
but you know.
It sounds like the Mars will just create them.
Yeah,
And
Mars
they
is
need to be prepped when that happens.
Oh, it's
Mars
Aowa.
needs
Got it.
moms. More like Mars is a mom.
What do they eat?
Good segue. Thank you.
I find it weird that they
Mars-
breathing masks.
Mars-
They don't
Mars
need to eat.
food. Yeah, they eat oxygen, which is why
Oh,
there's
they
so
don't have
little
much
on
of that.
Mars. Yeah, so there's so little on Mars. I don't know.
Okay, also
Don't show
with
me eating
the-
food. Yeah.
with a little segue to the first mom they spy on. She's at an ice cream van with her kid,
Ugh.
and the kid throws the ice cream on the ground, wanting something else. So then the
Double
mom
ice
buys her 2 ice creams, and the kid throws those.
That pissed me off.
It's not. It's not an accurate mom.
No,
That's
no, it's
not an
not.
accurate human.
Not an accurate child either.
If the
Oh,
kid wants
maybe
one
an
thing,
AI
an
wrote
ice
this
cream.
script. That's what they thought humans acted like.
I wish.
Right.
It's
Children
just so
throwing
weird. I mean, the
ice
second
cream.
one of the mom trying to like wrangle her two boys, fine, and then the last one being Milo's mom. But the first one just made no sense to me.
That would be true.
No, I
for
hate,
Jay.
I hate
That's
it when
nice.
it's like this has nothing to do with the actual story or whatever. But I hate anytime I see like a kid just like being like unnecessarily mean to like a parent. Like it doesn't even have to be a mom. It irks me. It's just weird.
Oh, so the whole beginning of this movie irks you.
A little. I mean,
The
not
whole
just
movie
because of
irks
that.
me,
But, I
but-
mean, yeah, not just because of that, but yeah. I was just like, it's a pet peeve of mine. I don't like that. Don't understand it. But no, it's yeah. It seems a little overkill.
And of course, we got the rules of 3, where the third mom they search is the one.
You are the one.
The Martians have very human expressions. I'm okay with that, just because they need to convey their emotions to us, the audience. Just a bit of convenience doesn't break the movie. Other things break the movie, but you know, I have to point it out.
I mean, it's weird. Okay. I know they went through a lot of effort with the motion capture and to get like, you know, humanistic like features or you know like or emotional responses, you know, facial emotional responses.
Mhm.
But so they do that and that's, you know, a feat or whatever, and I can accept the hard work going into that. But then they undermine all that by all the writing is telling you how the character feels.
Yeah,
time.
I have a couple notes about those specifics.
Yeah.
To get to them.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, so Milo's mom is just gonna get just straight up kidnapped by freaking Martians, dude. It's like a real drag, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I find it weird. A little, going through the movie that Milo has a dad.
Yeah, I
and
thought
they're
that he was gonna be like a single
beginning-
mom. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll chop it up to the Martian society being dumb because there's a
Sexist?
lot of things about the stars. Yeah, this is the best that a female society can come up with. Sure, according to these writers, that's what they aimed for. So,
This was
and hey, to
Was
be
that-
fair, they did it
yeah.
both ways. The best they can do with all the males in society is make them trash huggers. So,
I mean
Idiots.
that tracks. That fits in. I think honestly.
I didn't say anything
I-
sexist. The writers did, and that's what they
Yeah,
that's what they tried to do.
yes, it's true. These are the rules set up by the writers and everything. That this is how society would function. It's fair. Yeah.
All right.
I do think an all women society would be a little bit better, but that's all I'm saying.
Do we have
I
anything?
don't-
I have things to say about every scene because, as I said, I have
I-
3,000
oh,
words of
yeah.
notes. So,
It's your freaking
Do you
5
wanna-
paragraphs in 5
does
minutes.
anyone have to? Does anyone have to say anything
Look,
about the
writer.
time in the
Do you think-
house?
Can I?
Oh,
I have a
boy.
question
Oh, go ahead.
for the group. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to. Do you think it would have been okay? So we have with Milo's dad, that whole situation and everything. Do you think him just like being off on business or whatever, and just kind of being, like there's a phrase for it, but like a on business parent or whatever, that goes away, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you think that? Because I think it would have worked better and it's not even a big problem. It's not the biggest problem with the movie, but I don't know if she was like divorced or something, or the dad was, you know what I
It
mean?
would make more sense from the Martian perspective of why they would target her. Like, no one would obviously notice.
I
Yeah.
don't think the Martians care about that.
No, they clearly don't. I'm just saying that if that would happen to work a little bit better in the favor of the Martians, it would be something that works in their favor if that were true.
Yeah, because there'd be
I
less.
think it would
coincidences.
play a bigger strength to Milo's character if his dad was dead. Because then he'd like
I'm laughing,
really
but I know what
be,
you mean. Yeah.
well, he'd
Yeah.
really be like wanting his mom back more because that's the only parent he has. Because the whole time he's on Mars, his dad's never thought of.
No.
And
Yeah,
I know the whole thing is like going to get his mom, but
it would be nice if we had some character motivation that we don't get
Yeah.
at all.
because it sounds like with Gribble doesn't have a dad in the picture.
No.
No.
And
That's what he
he's-
says.
yeah.
Oh, if I went back to Earth, I'd see my dad. Or that's like never a thought. It's just his mom.
Mhm.
And I think that would be a better connection of like Gribble relating to Milo that way.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
Milo only cares about his dad at the very beginning and very end of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think as kids we've all gone through that. Or especially I think if you're a guy or whatever, it's usually you're on better terms with your dad than your mom, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So that fits, in a certain sense. But I do think it would work better if there was less, or like he was, because I guess like I guess the compromise there is that he's just away on business a lot, so that's kind of similar. But I think it would be better if they went all the way in and like had like either a divorce, or he wasn't, or he passed away or something, because that would also make it more emotionally deep as far as like the circumstances that would follow. But what do I know? I don't know nothing.
Then I'm just sitting here thinking I'm okay with that situation.
I mean, that's fine. Like I said, that's fine. That works. I just think there might be like a little bit.
I mean, like I said, they could make it work either way. They just didn't make it work one way or the other.
Yeah.
I'll go with the first, I guess,
Yeah.
not adult joke, but adult reference I caught that as a kid I didn't know. The
Please.
cat's name is Cujo.
Mm-hmm.
That's Cujo's a dog.
Yeah.
That amused me.
So how
both-
funny.
Yeah.
but
Does anyone
no.
know a cat to eat broccoli?
No.
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 Yeah.
dog
Okay.
eats broccoli.
I don't know.
Okay.
That was exactly. That's why I thought it was stupid. That's the cat ate the broccoli to
It
begin with.
was.
They should have had it be a dog. It would have
Okay.
made more
And I,
sense.
you know,
I can understand why they didn't show the cat throwing up
Yeah.
or didn't show the vomit.
That's
Yeah.
but it's still stupid the cat ate the broccoli to begin with. And I got another one for this scene for how broccoli reminds the kid of brains, and that has got to be the stupidest comment I've ever heard in my life. This speaks to me of a
Old
writer
words.
who's never interacted with children, because I don't know, have you ever heard someone compare broccoli to brains?
No.
No.
All right, you wanna know why? It's because they look like fucking trees.
Well, they do, but I
Trees
can
look like brains.
kind of slightly see Milo on this. He seems very big into zombies. You know, that's the thing he wants to watch, and he says they look like brains. But then when he gets to Mars and finds the huggers in the trash, he calls them zombies. And I'm thinking, what kind of zombie movies is he watching?
I have
If
no idea.
zombies look like Martians and brains look like broccoli.
Well, also, he rode a spaceship to a different planet. Why would he say zombies and not aliens?
They really
Because
missed
he's
the
never
boat.
seen an alien movie.
Yeah, do you think they purposely were like, oh, he's got to be into like sci-fi like alien movies? Like, no, he has to be into zombies. It's
Oh,
gonna be too close.
This is probably a good. This is probably a good time. 'Cause
He had a zombie poster in his bedroom, though.
This is when my
Oh, he had another poster.
Yeah. So this is when my cousin came into the room and said this exact line, because I had to write it down because it was funny. Milo looks like if the human from Ratatouille was animated into a bad rat, then animated back into a human.
Yeah.
Thank you,
There you
cousin.
go.
I really appreciated that. That was good.
If Linguini was animated
Linguini.
into a rat and
Yeah.
then back into a human,
Yes.
Yeah.
Into a bad
Oh,
rat,
that's-
and then bad into this.
That's a bad rat, like Radish Wang.
Yeah.
weird.
I thought it was funny, and you know what? I think it's true.
Funny.
I'll go with something I caught that was weird. Milo gets out of bed, puts on his shoes with no socks on.
Yeah, and he puts
Weird.
on his shoes to walk across the hall.
That is
He gets-
true.
he gets, like, totally dressed. Yeah.
That should be outside.
It was very lucky that he put him on to make chase outside, but he was just going across the hall to apologize to his mom. I don't understand why he put on his fucking
Floor
shoes.
is cold.
Look, that's something
Okay.
they have to show you that. That way, it didn't look like he went to bed with his shoes on.
Still
Right, he's got
dumb.
a point.
Yeah, it is.
Another thing I caught is he has a poster of Mr. Incredible on his wall.
Oh,
I
fan
missed
service.
that one. I saw
Well-
the other poster.
Dragging down the franchise before Incredibles 2 even came out. Shame.
Shame.
Eh.
Yeah.
What's part of the movie? Poster on the wall.
Should I apologize?
All right.
I feel bad. I'm
Yeah.
sad
Can-
about it.
Okay,
Can
actually,
I talk to you so the audience knows how I feel?
okay. So actually, this is also more notes I have for this scene, is because you brought it up earlier, Sinister, where the animators worked really hard to show the subtlety of human emotion. Like they actually conveyed all these emotions to us
Yeah.
with his expressions, and then they immediately, the writers in their infinite stupidity, decided to have him just spout his motivations to us to a cat. It was mind-boggling. Like
But now you understand.
I need alcohol. I don't think I'm gonna get through this podcast without it. Actually, this movie is infuriating.
No.
Oh boy. Okay. At the very end, I guess during the epilogue credits, it shows that like it's not necessarily NASA, but whoever controls the rover exists.
Yeah.
Okay. There's an actual space program on Earth that's shown.
Mhm.
That's true.
So the fact that they're not shown with anything that the Martians are doing early on, or from the years of capturing moms, and how non-discreet the Martians are just taking them, that's a gripe I have.
NASA got nerfed.
I like how the
I don't
problem
like
is
that.
because there's a camera on a rover. There's such thing as telescopes that we've had for quite a while. That we're always watching planets, so it would have been seen long ago.
Oh yeah, no. NASA was
long
nerfed
ago.
100%. The Martian, we would know the Martians exist. It's not. They don't really do a good job of
We know
hiding
fossils are
themselves.
there. You know, we're
It's on the dark
intelligent.
side
There's
of Mars.
fossils. Dumb.
Dumb.
And then
Milo. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say Milo running to the ship. I don't know why, but the way he's running just reminded me a lot of Sid the Science Kid.
Yes,
true. Got the
Yes.
floatiness to him.
That's accurate. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I guess before we leave to Mars, the argument with mom, and we've seen it in a lot of, I guess, child films or just movies in
Yeah.
general.
Mhm.
How you guys feel they implemented that here?
Badly.
I wish I never had a mom.
Oh, I
Badly.
shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hagrid.
Let's see. Do I have any lingering notes to quickly go through?
Home Alone did it better.
I have a question for you. I have a question for you.
Jimmy
Springs.
Neutron, the movie.
I have a
did
question
it
for you,
better.
Springs, because I don't pick up on visual things much time, and I was taking lots of notes with a pause button, but I still miss things. When he first steps into the bedroom, did the fucking giant blue light just disappear while he looked around the room until it reappeared outside?
When he steps in, he looks under the door of the lights, and the lights like dissipate and disappear, and then he opens up, the lights aren't in there,
Okay.
and then there's like a quick noise and light outside the window.
Okay. Then that tracks a little bit better than what I had originally seen of it.
Yeah, he didn't automatically open the door with light under the door, and nothing being there.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. All right, hold on. I found one of my funny notes about the putting the shoes on, and I feel like I need to read it because I thought it was funny. Why is he putting on shoes to walk around in the house? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh, I see. It's because he had a force vision and realized that he would need to be giving chase soon. Oh, that makes so much sense.
Giving chase.
That's, well, interesting that he had to ask Gribble for directions then on Mars.
Right, I know.
And he didn't know where he was going, and he was lost the whole time. Weird. Wild.
Yeah.
Inconsistent
Um,
superpowers. 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'll tackle it eventually at some point, so I'll just do it now. A little bit of costume designing and costume design. Bother
They have alien
anyone
outfits. They have great alien outfits.
Did it bother anyone else
they
that
had bad
Milo's
outfits.
no Crimson? Did it bother anyone else that Milo's drawstrings on his hoodie are all the way up so they don't have to animate them?
Yeah,
Yes.
a little.
Lazy writers.
It's just the style, you know.
That's lazy animators.
That's not a style.
That's style.
That is such a small drawstring then.
I mean, it is a style, but only if you have your hoodie on and you have like tight.
Well, if you have it tight, then they would be dangling.
This,
Oh, never mind.
so this kid
It's the
watches
opposite. They're
this kid
moving in.
watches movies, and since it's confirmed that he's seen The Incredibles, he knows what a rocket is. So why is he beating
a
the side of
rocket?
an engine coil?
Because
Get
funny.
his mom back.
Oh yeah, and also this is the first time he dies, by the way.
Wait, he died.
Oh yeah, he died.
No,
The
there's
movie ended right there.
multiple situations
Oh,
of
yeah,
death.
this is death one. This is death number one. We need a counter.
Yeah, he's pounding on it. It's probably super hot and burning his hands, but he keeps going at it.
But-
And then it actually
It
goes and he gets disintegrated. And then whatever's left, what particles are left, get grabbed by the landing gear, luckily.
Yeah, that's amazing. I wish that was in the
That's why
movie.
he needed a hoodie. Because the landing gear would catch the back of his hood.
Did it grab the hood? It just took the back, wasn't it?
I think it was just the back, Springs.
Yeah.
Again, I've only seen the movie once, so
Sure, it was just his back.
Well,
And he-
luckily, I have it up in the background here, so let me take a gander.
And he was flailing around like, "Oh, please put me down and drop me to my death, so
Yeah,
I can
I-
die
I
twice
have-
in
I
the
ca-
same scene."
yeah, I complained about this, but now
He
that
grabs his hood.
now that someone spotted, he grabbed his hoodie.
He grabbed the hood on his hoodie.
Yeah,
All right, well,
that's why it had to be really
I
loose.
guess. Yeah, I wrote this down as well. I was like, but now that you spotted the Incredibles poster, it makes much more sense. It makes much more sense. I was wondering why the Syndrome's robot gun was the sound effect for the engine firing. Like it didn't correlate well for me, like audio wise.
Oh, interesting. I didn't catch that.
Hmm.
A sound design thing.
Yeah, that was bad sound design.
Spranks, since you currently have it up, when he gets shoved in with the landing gear and gets let go, does the landing gear open up at all, or is it still closed? Because he just plops onto the floor, and I don't think they open up to release
They
him.
don't open up at all.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's still closed.
Yeah,
He just
so
falls.
he should still just be hanging there.
It just snagged him at the right angle, I guess. I don't know.
It's enough to carry his weight the entire way up, but just drops him when he's in a
Just
safe
drops him.
spot.
Nope, it just drops him. And there's plenty of room in there, turns out.
It's a tight squeeze.
No, it's not. If you were a grown-up, yes. If you're a kid, there's plenty of room.
The thing that doesn't make sense to me with the landing gear, how many... I'll double check, but how many pairs of legs were there? There was 3?
There should be 3.
Okay. When he gets put inside and the legs drop him out, the pairs
Mhm.
dropping him, there's a window where he is, which looks out. That window would be in the center of the ship.
A two-way mirror. There you go.
Two-way mirror.
Painted on the outside, but you can see through it. There you go.
Unless they skipped the scene of Milo being like turned around inside where the landing gear set up to put him facing the outside, like actual outside window of the ship, then. But it didn't look that way.
Oh yeah, they were gonna,
Makes
but
sense anyways. There's a clear
Wait, this
glass
movie
ring
doesn't make
towards
sense?
the top where
What?
you can see where the abductees are.
Yeah, we don't know it's glass.
Whatever it
Oh,
is, it's see-through
Mars-
and dumb.
Mars
Uh,
mirror. Yeah.
Whoa, I'm on a spaceship. And then I wrote, hey, Marvel's looking to hire people with this talent after Phase 4. So I thought they should apply.
You shut your mouth.
I wrote down the
That's
same
a
quote.
shot fired. That's a
I'm
fan
in a
hammer.
spaceship. Good thing he didn't notice that it was a spaceship when he was running.
I know.
No, he didn't know what it was.
He thought it was a zombie. I'm sorry, okay? I admit it. He thought it was a zombie.
Probably.
You admit it, huh?
Actually, well, close. He thinks it's a grave because there's zombies in it.
Ah, that's right. That's right.
You know. Well, the whole point of zombies is they're out of the grave.
Okay, it's just a giant broccoli then. It's a giant brain.
Sure.
Giant brain. Oh, my brain.
So we're 12 minutes in, and Milo's now on Mars. So I guess if you want to make that, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but they're snappy. They get him to Mars fast. You don't have to wait like half an hour.
I think they
true.
did it too fast. They kind of want a little.
The way they depict a wormhole, I feel like Earth would see that.
Is really cool.
Oh yeah,
right.
the Earth would absolutely see it, but it is still an acceptable form of space travel.
Well, that's why I brought
So,
the quote unquote NASA Earth has in this movie, because being that they exist and how discreet the Martians are, there's a lot shown.
for the sake of my sanity, I'm gonna refer to NASA as NASA because
Because they're naysayers.
because they're stupid and
Oh, no. NASA, but 2 S's. So
NASA.
NASA.
And we're just like, they should hire us to rebrand.
I don't think we
We
could
make a
save this
movie.
movie.
No.
We can make it better.
That's true. We definitely can. I have zero doubt about that.
I'll
good.
touch on a little thing I have of when they get to the surface of Mars and the Martians come out to, I guess, examine the ship or whatever, and you see the first piece of graffiti on the outside of the, I don't know, thing that came out of the ground,
The base, yeah.
the base. Unless
Thing came
the
out of the ground.
surface they're standing on currently is about a foot thick, the only way that graffiti could have been there is if he did it while on the surface outside with that
Yep.
part risen.
Yep, I wrote that as well. Because it
Yeah.
would have been underground
the
and not
word for
reachable.
Yeah,
word.
the base doesn't sink
Yeah.
down. It's just up the entire movie. It's only the rocket that sinks down.
No, not the
No,
entire movie. At the
no,
beginning of the movie, this
They
versus-
show the base coming out of the ground.
I
Well,
don't
first it
remember
does
that
a big
for sure.
satellite thing first, like tower that comes out, and then the rest of it comes out.
That's weird. Still, okay.
I mean, it's yeah. No, I mean, none
I
of
think it
this
also
movie
should be
makes a lot of
noted that
sense.
the Martians come out wearing helmets on Mars, and their children are born without them happily. But I guess
Underground, where they can breathe Earth oxygen, because
Mars is hollow.
our Earthlings can
Oxygen.
breathe there.
Yeah.
It makes
Yeah,
no sense.
they need
It was,
helmets.
by the way,
Yeah.
it was 12 minutes in where I actually gave it my numerical rating. By the way, I was pretty sold at this
You're
point.
like, this
Okay.
cannot go up from here.
Man.
I was hoping that I was thinking something could shift it, but no, nothing did.
Yeah, I'll
Kind
touch on that at the ratings at the
Yeah.
end. Oh boy.
yeah.
It's
We're not gonna get
fine
there.
to
Come on.
me. It's kind of fine to me that I mean they need helmets to breathe, but they don't need like a suit on. Like the Martians are fine exposed
they-
to the surface.
No, they
Well, so are
covered
the
that. There's a
people.
little neck thing. Yeah.
See, the humans is a problem, but the Martians, I am thinking that's okay. The Martians don't have to be in a suit.
Yeah.
And their
Pandora
thick
rules apply.
skin, it's
Wear
already-
your fucking helmets.
Yeah,
They've
Like,
had
I
many
don't
years
know
of
them.
evolution.
the biology of these Martians and what they can and can't do. So I'm like that can pass. But when humans don't need anything but the helmets, no.
Just the breathing doesn't make sense in this at all.
I will say I really liked Key, mostly because she wasn't a character for the first half of this film, so I actually kind of find her expressions amusing when talking to the supervisor and reacting to the art.
I'm a hippie.
Well,
Yeah. Are you?
That's the only
No.
Earth English she gets, which even for just that, unless it's a whole season of that show, a ton of stuff, she would only know a couple English words.
No, you can fill in the gaps.
Yes, of course. Right. You're right. That's correct.
Well, we don't know how much stuff she downloaded.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should know she
She
downloaded
tried
it
to
quick.
download everything they had.
I
Could
have
have been
I have
the entire television.
yeah, I have bigger
Yeah.
fish to fry with that scene when we get there, but
Yay!
And when we get to Mars, we get like the alien theremin music and stuff.
Woo!
Yeah.
thank you, Sinister. That's why you're the music man.
I can touch on how they discover Milo is on the ship by just taking him off it on the surface.
With,
He has
with-
no helmet.
with no
nothing.
helmet.
So I guess that's number 2 where he's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have found him fast enough, but
I mean, here's the thing: full-grown adults like almost die experiencing like rocket like launching G's.
yeah, no, he's dead. But
I did okay.
Also-
One thing, he should have died. I mean, just from the strain or whatever, and that's. But I did like that they actually had him knock out because that's what would happen to anybody who isn't like acclimated to G forces.
Oh, yeah.
So it was good
Yeah.
that they didn't just like have him just be like. "Urgh." He knocked out. So there you go, a little science for you there.
Is there a reason that they have to do this on the surface
Yeah.
instead of having the ship go into the silo and then offload from there?
yes, because they
Yeah,
wanted
because when
to
she
create
landed, the
problems
landing
for the
gear was
fact that
already down.
telescopes couldn't see them. That's what they wanted to do.
Hmm.
I thought they were intentionally trying to sink their own movie. Sorry.
Oh,
Well, that too, but
Well, actually,
Okay.
that's even worse now. Coming to think about it, the landing gear would have landed first
uh-huh.
before seeing the graffiti and going to discover it. So he would have been. That's even more time for the surface of Mars to affect Milo, rather than just the scene of finding him. If the landing gear was open the whole time.
Well, they breathe. Okay, they theoretically breathe Earth air. So I mean, I would assume the ship is then pressurized with it. So I don't have any issues with them breathing on the ship. It's
Yeah,
just
but it
when, it's,
would've
when it's
opened.
opened up.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
area that
when
land.
it
Yeah, that's
landed.
Oh yeah, okay. I see what you mean.
As
'Cause
soon as it
he's-
opened its landing gears to land,
yeah,
that would have
then he'd be
exposed
dead.
him.
Yes, that's. So yeah, that's death number 3.
3 or 4. Yeah.
And then when they put him in the little pod, it seals airtight and gives him oxygen.
Okay, that's a weird. So even the helmets, they have a seal, but there's no like tank or anything for oxygen. So you'd only have like, let's see, how
Avatar
much
mask.
It's an
I'll say it's
avatar
a
mask.
converter.
a converter.
I
It
mean,
just
the avatar
takes
masks work a little
whatever's
bit.
in-
Sorry, you
Yeah.
first.
I was just saying it takes whatever is quote unquote the carbon dioxide available and converts it. I'll just go with that. I mean, the
Well, I
Avatar
guess
one
that
actually shows
does.
an actual pack.
I guess that does make it a little bit simpler.
Yeah, I mean, the avatar masks also work as converters because of all the trees that exist that are around the flora and the fauna.
Fauna.
So,
Yeah.
so,
Flora and
it's,
fauna,
so,
I suppose.
so theoretically, a form of oxygen exists on Pandora. It's just to the level that humans can't take
Well,
it very long, which is why they need the converters and their masks
Crimson, what
for
was
it.
the ratio? What was the ratio of Mars again when you looked it up?
Oh, I think it's at a
Atmosphere.
0.1% is oxygen.
Okay, it's fair.
So nothing.
point one.
Obviously, this movie is not scientifically accurate. But
No,
Well,
and
the only plants we see are algae and moss in that like painted area underground.
Yeah.
it's true. Oh God, it wouldn't be a problem of science if they don't talk about the science. Then it's just like, oh, it's a cartoon, whatever. But the fact that they talk about science stuff in the movie makes the other parts that they don't worse.
Yes.
Well, it's
Well,
unnecessarily
anything, yeah.
true.
Parts of it.
I mean, anything that you
Like I said,
okay.
if they skirted around talking the science, they didn't bring it up at all, it would still be a problem. It just wouldn't be as major of one.
Okay, I can agree with that. But on the other hand, it's like trying to get the words correctly. I think that's always an issue if you're dealing in sci-fi is which route you're going to take, because while I do appreciate when a sci-fi movie is very, very accurate to the science, because I do think that you should. I think the days of kind of just like Star Trek kind of willy-nilly and everything are kind of done on a certain level. I'm not going to say entirely over, but I think enough people should be and should know what that oh yeah, you couldn't actually breathe in space for like an hour if you just held your breath or something. That's obviously an exaggeration, but still.
I should
But I
have done
do
what
think-
Jimmy Neutron did.
Well, yeah, just like
Oh, that was one episode.
why aren't we wearing helmets?
Well, it's the movie.
Yeah, it was the movie. Yeah, the movie.
The
Get it right.
I apologize. I don't remember that in the movie.
when they take their roller coaster rides and stuff into
Yeah, in
space.
space. Why don't we wear helmets? Carl says.
Yeah. I mean, like,
I thought that was
there's
an
a
episode.
level of like you can
Oh,
look.
that's a movie.
There's a level of like you can look past certain problems. Like I'm gonna use Star Wars as an example.
Yeah.
It is sci-fi fantasy, which is fine. So there is a magic system at work when it comes to Star Wars, but there's also the basic thing like if your ship gets a hull breach, you're gonna get asphyxiated from lack of oxygen and die.
Yeah.
You're gonna get blasted out of the airlock, unless you're Ryan Johnson in The Last Jedi. So
use the Force.
yeah. So it works in that like as long as there's a basic system of where we can understand how things work, you can typically springboard your work off of that. Like Star Trek in the avenue that you in the example that you brought up is they get to function because they're mostly on starships within bases and things like that, and they wear their astro suits when they're out in space and things like that too, and they wear suits on when they go onto atmosphere that's not necessarily friendly.
Yeah.
So there is a basic of like they have a basic understanding of science to a degree, but it's a matter of like if those basic rules are breached, you can attribute a problem to it, but it's because there's also the fact where you can skirt around problems without necessarily having to talk about them, but that is still a problem. It's just not as major of a one.
I just use Star Trek because I just think that's a big sci-fi touchstone that probably a lot of But I think they're usually better for it because at the very least, if they're going to do something that's not, they kind of write a way around it so that it's not a big science issue. And I don't So yeah, and I'm also not saying that everybody needs to have like a astrophysics degree if they want to make a sci-fi movie. That's
Yeah.
but I think there's the basic stuff that you kind of nowadays kind of need to get right because it's kind of glaringly obvious. That
Yeah.
some of that's some of that old '60s, '70s sci-fi stuff just doesn't like make sense anymore. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's a difficult line to walk now.
Yeah, I will say Star Trek also benefits from clearly establishing stakes throughout the course of whatever episode or
Oh, yeah.
movie you're watching.
Yeah.
So it's never lost on you the science aspect until you get to Discovery. But the stakes are usually clearly established for us to understand them as an audience, which is very helpful.
Yeah.
But yes, I tend to agree. So.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, back to what we're talking about. Mars needs
moms. Does Mars have low gravity? I don't remember.
It does.
Yeah, anything if you get farther away from the sun, you have lower gravity.
Well, that's not how it works.
I know.
The planet generates the gravity, but I don't remember if Mars had low gravity or low enough gravity to see what we're seeing.
I don't know if it's to the extent of like the moon because we kind of see like moon type.
We definitely see moon
here.
hopping.
Yeah, I don't think it's moon.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I'm familiar. The closest I've gotten is The Martian with the Matt Damon, and I also read the book. So like there is a level of like when we're on the surface of Mars, there is a difference in gravity, but it's not to that degree. So I found it very weird him to be hopping around. Granted,
you are correct, sir.
Yeah.
I think it was dumb that he thought superpowers, even though he took a spaceship to a different planet.
By this point in the movie,
saw aliens.
Yes, it did. I thought it was dumb.
By this point in the movie, I was just like, okay, yeah, this is just a dumb kid. Whatever.
Yeah, I was like, the writers.
It's a character trait. He's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's either dumb or the writer's dumb, and I lean towards writers. But
yes.
From National Geographic, we have in space, gravity is essentially non-existent, and on Mars, it's about 38% the strength of Earth's downward pull.
Okay, so what's the moon's? That's a easier visual comparative, I think.
With the movie we see, I suppose.
Can you?
Yeah.
This is gonna make me sound really dumb, probably, but I'll say it anyways. Can you like jump out of the atmosphere on the moon? Not the I know there's not actually an atmosphere, but like
you can.
You jump out of the pull of the gravity is what I should have said.
At a certain level of force, you could, but at human force, I don't think so.
I don't think at a human force. Yeah.
Okay.
Moon is 16.6%.
Oh, so it's double the moon's in terms of percentage. It's at 30 something.
Can you imagine?
So I guess the bounce is accurate then.
I would be so scared.
Okay, when you say percentage gravity of Earth, you mean it has 16% the gravity of Earth, or it has 16% less the gravity of Earth?
He's saying what he's reading. He doesn't know what he's reading.
Okay.
Which is fair.
The acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the moon is approximately 1.625 milliseconds squared, about 16.6% that on Earth's surface, or 0.116 G.
Okay, nerds, we got the math right, so leave us alone now.
So that sounds like it's 16% of Earth's gravity?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay, so I guess Mars would be half then of the moon's then. Okay. What's the 30?
So does that mean you
Mars
bounce
would have
higher?
more.
It's a little exaggerated here then.
Yeah, Mars would have more gravity, so it is exaggerated, but it's not as bad.
Sorry. I think this movie is made for little kids though, so they're not really going to try too hard.
I don't know if it's that exaggerated because he seems to do it quite fast. Moon gravity is quite slow. Once you're up, it takes a little longer to get down. This one, he jumps and he gets down fairly fast without the weight built. But
okay, but the weight built, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Anyway, does anyone have anything to talk about in the prison bubble, going down the chute?
No.
Compliment to the artists. His shoes were worn out. There you go. You could see it when he was sitting in his cell. They were worn down.
Guy who made it, Crimson, sent you a compliment.
There you go.
One of the
I
few.
don't know.
Fewer
I think
trees.
a lot of the CG or whatever the effects of this look good.
I mean,
Um,
like I'll bash him for being like that uncanny valleyness
Polar Express
aspect.
eyes.
But yeah, Polar Express
Looks
eyes, bring
better
it
than
back.
that.
Yeah, Polar Express look better. But at the end of the day, like to look like this, it took a lot of work. Like you can't just like half-ass this stuff. You have to, you have to really try to make it look this creepy.
The visuals are the best part of this movie.
I would agree. It's weird though, and I know they put a lot of work, and I know they put a lot of money into this. I kept feeling like this was a direct-to-DVD thing. I don't. Am I alone on that one?
I didn't get that vibe, but I could see how. That could
And
be
I
easily
well, I know that
confusing.
like maybe it's just because they've aged not so well. That could be a factor. Because I'm sure if I compared this to other stuff in 2011, it would probably be decent. But I'm just like thinking now. I'm like, this was like a direct to DVD now, but I know there was a lot of work.
And,
Unfortunately,
during
there was a lot of work put into this. I'm sorry,
Milo has
during this-
Milo has another
3
death scene
years.
coming up.
Milo.
That's
Give
what I was
Milo.
on.
Yeah.
I'll touch on when he goes down the chute. Very Polar Express. It felt like the
presence
presence. Thank you,
wrapping
Crimson.
place.
Yeah. If it just had a little bit of that music over it, that would help. A little Alan Silvestri instead of John Powell. But
What about Michael Giacchino? Huh?
Michael Giacchino's not in this movie? Thank God Michael Giacchino's not in this movie.
You would have given this 6 stars though if he was. Don't lie.
No,
Come on, give me.
he's admitted he's corrected. There's some bias, and he's accounted for that
Okay.
You've missed a
on
few
his
of the-
objective scale.
You've missed a few of the.
That was on a recap.
Sure,
Yeah.
I can say my score I have written down currently would be
No.
different.
Yes. Okay. And I'm not listen. Not trying to start anything. I was just. It's all for fun.
Yeah.
No, it was John Powell.
What is he?
But
does
yeah,
he do
when he
something
goes
else?
down, even though with the gravity,
No
broken bones, no cuts, no
Still dead.
bruises.
It's the gravity though.
Still dead.
That's what the gravity
Yeah.
factor. And I'm like,
Yes.
okay. Even though the momentum in the slide seemed quite substantial.
Critically.
How would a? Okay, now I don't want to get off topic because we'll never finish this movie if we keep doing it. How would a slide work in low gravity?
Just take stuff down.
Picture a feather falling on a slope. There you go. There's your visual.
So you just be constantly bouncing up to the the top of it.
Well, when he was in it, he
He
was
would
going
just
like,
slowly.
spinning
Okay.
around and
I don't know. Just
I was surprised with the cuts thing and the his clothes not getting caught on anything because we see a lot of seam lines of tubing connecting.
yeah.
So he totally would have been shredded in there.
especially how it's all metal. It's
Yeah.
not like he's landing on plastic or
not metal.
softer. It's a lot of metal scrap trash.
Dead.
It's like robots trash.
Yeah. Without the
Yeah.
cool music.
Yeah, without the cool music and Robin Williams.
Before he goes in there, we get to see that the Martians have no problem killing humans.
No, they're
or
like-
kids.
Oh
Those
yeah,
are just
they were
open-
they were
they
gonna
just open
they were
fire
gonna
on
they're
'em.
just gonna gun them down. Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out also. So that was a jail or a prison, right? Where he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
at.
Some sort of restraining order, yeah.
Very convenient that he got helped.
Who goes to jail there? Like who is like who?
The men. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Any
That
of the
makes-
men who step out of line, any of the females who step out of line, because in their firing squad, they have an outline of a Martian. So they murder their own. So I think anyone who goes against the system gets thrown in there.
Yeah, public executions. Love it. Gotta love them.
It's how society has always been.
It's how society has always been.
Oh,
That's what the lady sounded like.
that was a science question I had to look up.
Look up the science question.
That,
We have a scientist right here. What is asking?
What element makes fire purple?
Well,
It's not copper.
It's not magnesium. Hold on.
Purple crayon.
I'm looking up. It's potassium.
Yeah.
Is there
Wait,
potassium
the
on
thing that
Mars?
makes bananas yellow burns purple?
Freaking my mind, Sinister.
when Milo meets when Milo meets the males down in the trash, they have torches with purple fire.
Yeah.
And I was curious, why is it purple?
No, these
Yeah.
Martians are made out of potassium.
Yeah,
and that's
potassium
just
is fairly-
their feces on sticks. I don't know.
Feces.
Yeah, potassium is.
But they don't eat anything. They'd have to eat something to defecate.
It's true. They haven't
Potassium
seen
is fairly
food.
common on Mars.
So
Okay.
it's potassium. How
So
can they
that-
be
that's-
accurate with this
that's-
stuff if they
that's
can't do
fine.
anything else? What is
Okay,
this?
Mars
this
surface is known to
stuff?
contain the majority of plant essential nutrients, including nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
I wonder what Gribble eats.
Poop.
People.
Who knows?
Martians. Yeah, I think he
He
eats
eats-
Martians.
What the heck he gave Wingnut?
In the same, this the same way that the
Wow.
people in Wall-E ate for all those years. This is how he ate for all these years. It's how he gained his weight.
Wow,
Yeah,
dude, you got some
recycled
serious
food.
wings on you. Wait, I think I should call you Wingnut.
Well, Wally, they could have had a food.
They had a food
making
court.
thing there. That's fine.
Dude, if they had a
Sure.
whole soiling
That was a
thing
big
going
ship.
on, I would have been way
They
more into that
grind
movie.
up the old people and put them into the food, drinks.
The
Yes.
food of the drinks.
I mean, if
That's
they
how they
do
survived,
recycle their
yes.
food to survive, they definitely would be eating people for sure. Yeah.
I mean, how
That's
long
a
was it
lot
actually
of
about?
wasted nutrients.
It was a 10-year journey or whatever that turned into how many years? Like 100?
It was hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hundreds, yeah.
That would be a great thing to talk about if we were covering Wall-E.
Yeah. Well,
So
No, I
back
think
to
it's a great
Prince
thing right
Moms.
now. Let's no, we have to talk about Wall-E. This is the
No, I'm shutting
We
that
want to
down.
talk about
We're not
something
talking about
better.
Wall-E. We're talking about Mars Needs Moms. And Mars Needs Moms, the purple fire was what caught me first, but they also have normal standard, yellowish orange and then green.
They got paint
They have
mixes
multiple.
apparently.
Yeah.
I wrote that towards the end. I'm like, where did they get all these pigments? Because
It-
she didn't even know what color was.
That's true. She
But
didn't
she's
know.
been using colors to
She's
paint
like,
everywhere.
Well, everything above.
Well, we can assume
Online-
that the flashback thing happened before she started her little artist spree.
Yeah, the female top side, it's all just grays, basically grays and whites, and then all the males down below have all the color. So I think no one ever goes down to check on the males. They throw them down there, and that's it.
So I think thematically, these sexist writers are telling us that males are the ones that inject life into things, right? That's what.
Well, men are the fun ones,
Yeah,
apparently.
apparently.
But they're the dumb ones as well.
I wanted to see like some flashbacks or something if they were always just stupid or if that's just like
No, that was for the sequel we didn't get. It's unfortunate.
oh.
I'm gonna say they're kind of stupid because it shows in a part they just lower the crates of the babies down into the trash. They don't get taught anything. They don't get, no education.
No. The females are the ones that do that. The males are the ones that pick them up to raise them and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the males raising are the ones that have already been dropped down, that weren't raised themselves.
Huh. It's that makes a lot more
I wonder if
questions
they've
than
made their own
answers.
language by now.
Yeah, they don't seem to understand like basic stuff. That's the weird thing. They don't really like. I don't know.
Also, I think just another thing to talk about, like a mom every quote unquote 25 years. Each mom would be slightly different, which I think would be generational changes on those hatchlings from the info that they were taking from said
I don't
mom.
even know how the freaking robot downloads work.
It
The
doesn't-
solar
There you
wind
go.
takes
Well,
the
the solar
discipline from the
powers-
moms
yeah,
and
it
stores
takes
them
the
in the
needle.
robots.
But it does. I mean, it takes the discipline, but in order to do so, it has to take the full body of the mom to eviscerate, to go
Well,
into the
that's just
nanobots.
That's just an outcome of it. Like obviously, the
The power of the sun.
How does
yeah,
focused sunlight equal discipline download into robots?
they're low tech at this one specific point. It's ritualized, okay? Everything is ritualized at some point.
I would have taken that if this was like a religious society where they sacrifice the moms to get something out of it.
What, like
But they try to
Killer
explain it with
Corn?
science, air quotes.
Yeah, it uses a
Solar
solar wind
wind.
focuser are the exact words that they use.
Yeah,
And I tried not to throw my phone at the wall.
And I thought it was brilliant. It was awesome. It looks
Yikes.
so cool.
Sinister, I can go a little into something I do think is kind of cool. When is it Toucan? Is the name of the spider bot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Robot.
that's the name. All right,
Toucan Sam. Yeah.
kidnaps Milo. The bubble he
Kidnaps,
uses
yeah.
is pretty transparent, and you can see the fire and trash through the balloon. I thought that was a cool detail.
That is pretty cool. It is really cool. I wish they had more of that in here.
But we get pantomiming to dumb Martians.
No, then we get Gribble, who does a Darth Vader reference.
A lot of
followed by a
80s references, yeah.
Top Gun reference.
Have you seen Top Gun, dude?
Call sign Maverick.
Maverick,
Top Gun.
Wolfman, Iceman. And then we know it's a lie now, but his story of how he's a Ronald Reagan
Secret astronauts to stop the threat of interplanetary communism.
You know what, though? I mean,
it's a bit heavy for a kid's
It's funny.
movie.
No, like one of the funny things.
I think that was the only time I might have laughed at a joke in this film.
Yeah, because honestly, Ronald Reagan, that sounds actually pretty accurate. I could totally see him having that.
It was still horrendously dumb, but at that point, I thought it was still funny.
They ragged on Ronald Reagan. It's good for me.
And
interplanetary communism.
Very smart. I wonder how he learned all that, because he didn't get taught it by the Martians. That's for sure.
He could have.
Well, he knew it all when he was a kid.
Yeah, he was a secretnaut.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, he's been hanging out with, as we see, he's friends with the male Martians. So honestly, he probably could have learned some. He probably could have learned some of their language with them.
Well, they don't know their own language.
80s references, they wouldn't have.
The men Martians don't have a language because they didn't get raised learning a language. They just got birthed and then kicked into the trash.
They just mimic whatever they see.
I'm just gonna shrug. You're probably right.
What is that?
I'm putting more effort into this than the writers did. So.
Yeah, it's the. It's like that in the time machine, story, where they go into the future and there's like the highly evolved, the people above ground, and there's the really low, stupid, like brutes below ground.
Astro Boy.
No, that's. No. I mean, it's a common trope. I'm not saying this invented.
Elysium.
I said what it was a reference to in the beginning. It was to the time machine. I know. I think it was H.G. Wells. It wasn't Astro Boy. It wasn't Arcane. Anyways, but that's what I took away from it, which I thought was if it was a reference, was pretty good. But if it was just something just to make it make sense, whatever. I
thought this was pretty dumb. Did he trapped a bunch of Martian soldiers in a prison box somehow? And he just lets them out, or they were let out. I was confused by that.
I don't know how he has so much control over.
Yeah, no, I don't either. I let that one go.
I mean, it's also
some of this
Milo escaped. There's 2 guards that saw Milo go down the trash chute, and then I guess 4 of them thought, "Hey, we saw him go down the trash chute. Let's just check his prison cell."
Well, he said they were checking to see how he got out. That's
Oh, okay.
So he trapped. So he trapped them in there.
Yeah.
Well, I can't explain him being stupid, but they explained why the Martians were in there.
I think that's fine. If Gribble has the power to open it, I think he can close it.
What about
the problem? It's why.
It's still.
What about the unauthorized dog pile?
Yeah.
I can't believe that came up more than once.
Dog pile.
Unauthorized dog pile. What?
Yeah, they used it as a callback joke.
Out of all things.
Yeah.
Unauthorized dog pile is the callback joke.
It was
Yeah.
funny.
I'll touch on, I don't know
You
how
sound so dead
science-
when you say that.
I don't know
That
how the
was
science of
funny.
Gribble's bonsai pole works.
His
Make any
what?
sense to anyone?
Oh,
What?
gravity.
The pole he uses to go to between his floors.
Oh,
He says
the
bonsai
bonsai pole.
lifts them up.
You mean
Well,
the
some
fireman's pole?
mechanism. I'm not too worried about
Yeah,
that.
you can use magnets for that. I'm not. Yeah, that one can be explained away
Magnets.
outside of other things.
Magnets that can get pulled through the ceiling. When
Oh,
It's
you-
on spare
you-
hands.
You science guys, it's always magnets. Magnet solves everything. Magnets is
They
magnets this, magnets that.
Just wait till
Is it
I explain how maglev
well-
trains works. It'll be fun.
Well, no, I mean, oh god, I'm trying to think of this. So it's not. You say magnets. Milo is grabbing it with his bare hands, but he has the weight belt at that point. So is it pulling the metal from his weight belt?
We don't know if it's metal.
I don't know.
I mean, the way I would do it is the physical pole moves up and down.
magnets.
I got bigger fish to fry. I'm not going to try and explain how
We're
this
breaking
works.
down this
I'll just-
pole, Ryder.
I'll just
all right?
I'll just mark
I'm
it.
saying that the pole goes up and down physically. That's how I think it works.
But it looked like there was like a trampoline or something at the base.
Oh no, that's
Like-
just
like
the whole ground being uneven.
oh, okay.
Also, dumb place for a base. What is that?
Well, it's away from all the stupid men.
Yeah, it's
But
not
he's
on
friends
the
with them.
floor
They
surface.
Yeah,
fly
he's
out
buddies
to say
with
hi.
them.
From his one interaction with one of them, I don't think he's really friends with them because he literally called stupid idiot.
Well, yeah, I call you guys dumb all the time. What's the point?
You what?
What? No. When they all got released, he was all chummy with them. I don't.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
after because he realized,
He's
oh, these
chummy
guys.
with everyone. He's chummy with Milo because he's trying to kidnap
He's
him.
chummy with the firing squad that's about to execute him. It's true.
He's
He's
overly
lonely.
chummy.
Okay, he needs these
lovable.
people.
They say the name of the movie. There's
Mars
there's
needs
something for
moms.
Sinister.
Mars needs moms. That's my favorite. Doesn't happen very often. I'm sorry to say, it doesn't happen very often. When it does, it's usually terrible, and I love it.
It's. I think I do like the delivery of the line because he's very, very
It's
jokey.
good, yeah.
It's very jokey tone, and then just for that delivery of the line, he sobers up and he's just straight faced. The
Yeah.
truth is, Mars
Mars
needs
needs-
moms.
Mars needs moms.
A detail I'll touch on,
Please.
just so it doesn't get forgotten or anything. As of when Milo puts on the weight belt, he doesn't take it off until it's shown him taking it off. So when he's
Okay,
in the Martian suit, he's still wearing it.
I missed that moment, and then I was trying to figure out where it went at some point.
Just to help touch on any questions going forward about the gravity changes or whatever on him.
No, I was fine with that.
Can you picture a kid purple nerping adult?
No,
I can't picture it in reality.
I feel like that would get into some
Especially a
territory
stranger.
that I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to go into.
So weird.
Oh yeah. By the way, Space Gerbil, whatever his name is.
Oh, that's what he was doing. He was purple nerpling.
it was George.
Yeah, he was purple nurpling him.
Oh,
What do you think he was doing?
I don't. Oh, well, not that, because I was
Yeah,
like, why would he? Why
he
would
was
he do that?
twisting.
That's so weird.
What, he put his hands on his chest and dropped him to his knees. Yeah, well,
I thought he was like tugging on his shirt or something, or like on his
No.
his gravity belt or whatever, like the metal he had on him. I was trying to figure that out, and then I was like, I don't get it. That's worse.
What do you mean by terminate? I'll never talk. Oh, ow, oh.
so
What
weird.
if can they put that in like the next Mission Impossible, like a purple nurpling? Just had enough.
Tom Cruise, straight faced, purple
They
nurple.
do while they're skydiving.
Yeah.
Skydiving interrogation. No.
That,
Tom,
I
if you
did
listen
need
to
that
this, I'm so
visual in my
sorry.
head.
Action. Purple nerp.
He did his own purple nurpling.
Where are we at? There's there we go.
Gribble saying, "Oh, this is a great plan. He's going to go up there, get caught, and then he's going to never want to leave again."
She wants to make a friend.
Before he said his plan, I'm like, is he going to just send him to die because
Yeah.
he's annoyed by him?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's.
yes, that's what he's doing.
I was the opposite. I assumed he did it because he wanted to make a friend. He's just an idiot.
Well, I guess you were right. I was wrong.
I guess that's
That
why
is
you
what he
call you
wanted to do.
writer.
Yeah.
This movie's
Yikes,
bad.
that was a
We're
spring
grasping at straws here. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I know. Trying to derail to Wally and go into science discussions.
Please, let's
Anything
get us
we
away
can
from
to
this
talk about this
movie.
movie.
Please.
We get to see footage of his mom's memories. Impressive
Oh, yeah.
technology.
So the mom's brain is connected somehow now
Yeah.
to something.
I don't know why they don't just download her discipline from whatever the device they're using to record her memories.
I don't know
Crimson,
why
they
they didn't-
can't do that.
They need the sun's rays.
They only know how to make nanny bots. They're not that technologically advanced.
It's so
Some fucking
dumb.
how. They've
can't
mastered
program
space
robots.
travel, but they can't program robots. That's.
No. And the work parts only work for 25 years, then they gotta get scrapped too. And they burn it all. They can't reuse it. There's no recycling.
This is just a really big,
Actually, hold on. If the bots are recycled, wouldn't they end up in the trash room? Maybe that's how they
Yeah,
learn the language.
We see that at the end. They don't talk, do they? They just go. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't think the nanny bots talk. They just spank them. They line up
Oh, I
the
was talking
half.
about then. But yeah.
Oh, I'm like, they line up the hatchlings in a formation to get spanked when the nanny bots get programmed.
Yeah, I don't think we ever hear a nanny bot talk. do we?
no, except for like kind of, I think maybe a little bit at the end there might be something, but I'm not 100% sure.
But we find out we get 6.93 hours to save mom.
And they do it on a. That watch doesn't make any sense.
It
I mean,
counts down to when the sun comes up.
Yeah, the existence of the watch makes sense in that it would exist. You would have a Martian to Earth calendar, pretty much, is what timetable. So, but it's still, I still thought this was dumb.
Thank you.
As long as that's confirmed that it's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
no,
long-
yeah, this is terrible. It is feasible. You should have one. This scene is still dumb.
No, yeah, I'm not against them having a watch because obviously they'd have. I'm just saying like the layout of it is, and I know like okay, well they'd have a different culture, they'd have a different way of calculating time or whatever.
But
Like
this is
that's
human.
that's
So
fine.
That's the weird thing.
It just doesn't look. Yeah, it just looks stupid. It's overly
I'll
complex.
go. Yeah, I'll skip a little ahead here.
Please.
That's something I'll
March
touch
like
on.
a girl.
If you have something you want to talk about before this, go ahead. But when Milo gets up to the scanner to get scanned to go through, and Gribble's plan is to, as soon as he gets caught, drop him back through the chute, I guess, to the trash.
Yeah.
Milo scans his arm, goes off. The guard comes up, pushes him back. So the guard's standing on where the trapdoor would be. The guard doesn't activate a trapdoor to automatically send him down. Gribble activates the trapdoor to the one on the side. So Gribble doesn't know which trapdoor to use. Trapdoors are established to be used, and the guards don't use them and step on them themselves. It's just a lot of dumb everywhere.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's correct.
That should have been the title of the movie.
Well, they needed him to go up, right? Where was he going again? I already forgot.
To the surface, I guess.
Gribble was going up to get his mom.
Well, no. So he
Oh,
had
not
to.
Gribble, sorry,
no.
Milo. Milo was going up to get his mom.
They had to.
No,
so
I mean when they took him up.
Part of the
Oh, when they put
supervisor?
the tracker on his back.
Yeah.
I
So
think
where
they
were
were
they
probably
going?
taking.
The
I think they were taking
execution?
to the execution or the supervisor or something.
I don't know.
They didn't say.
We did
Yeah.
skip over the Mars needs Botox line. I'm
Well, we
impressed the
talked
kid
about
knows what that
in
is.
this podcast. So
Yeah.
Well, then he said something else that I don't think the kid would know
Yeah.
when they were
Yeah.
knocking out two Martians later.
And once again, I left
When they were talking
wonder,
medical terms.
almost wonder who this
Medical terms.
who this kid is as a character.
Yeah, this 9-year-old knows what Botox is.
I
He watched Christmas the Cranks. There we go.
There you go.
I think Goebbels talking to Spiderbot and spouting his motivation about what he's doing to the kid. We actually kind of needed this as an audience because the writers couldn't be bothered to make him into an actual character.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
This was more okay than the one.
He's been alone.
Yeah.
He talks to robots. It makes sense for him to do it.
Yeah, like I said, I'm more okay with this one than I am with the one, the
No,
Milo
because
talking to the cat.
that was unnecessary. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was just forced, and unnecessary. Yeah, this one
They could have used a
unless you said-
redraft, but I think it's serviceable.
I mean, it works. It's fine.
And
Could be better, could be worse.
Gribble, as we see through pretty much this whole movie, does everything right, I think, except press the wrong button to drop Milo.
Because he's too busy explaining what he's doing.
This was his screw up.
Yeah.
Something as easy as pressing the wrong button. And he planned this out, so he would definitely know the steps. It just seems too out there.
No, I
Push
agree.
the wrong button. Oh my god! Ah! Freaks
Yeah.
out.
I did like that.
Because he's dumb.
Doomed.
Well, it gets Milo captured to then escape, and then as soon as he's escaping, I don't know if these guns have a stun, because as soon as Milo started
never
going,
saw it.
they just start blasting.
I mean,
anyways,
it breaks
it's
the
not a
fucking
blast.
elevator door, so.
Yeah.
Some random glass barrier on an elevator. Interesting.
When he's in disguise, going up to the security thing, I'm impressed no one could tell the fucking difference.
There's just a bunch of like hollow.
I love that we
robots.
glossed over that.
Yeah, I fucking another problem.
The very obvious not Martian.
Isn't he a little short to be a Martian trooper?
Yeah. I
Oh,
would agree.
maybe the human face could give it away
I
too.
appreciate the
but
reference
I
to
don't
it.
know.
No. Key didn't even know till the helmet was removed. They don't know.
Yeah.
Covers up everything.
It's because they only see the uniform. They don't see any of the person. It's bureaucratic society.
His
Actually, it's a
orange
big
hair
picture.
gives away the color. Okay, if his color's oh wait,
You could
That's
see
like
he's
his-
in the
that-
uniform.
you could see from his nose to his chin.
Here, wear this fruit bowl hat.
His head is not
Is that
completely
a,
covered.
is that a Cat in the Hat reference?
No, that's a
Okay.
Meet the Robinsons reference.
Oh, better. Oh boy. So
Let's
he
talk about
runs,
some other animated movies.
nope. He runs into a security, some storage room, and
No, hold
He
on.
gets-
Before we do that, we can't gloss over the
Okay,
fact
well.
that Goebbels trying to extort him for an apology while he's being shot at.
yeah,
yeah. It's like
well, that's I have
Hey,
written
you
down.
think
Gribble
I-
sucks. Gribble sucks.
Sucks
He's
what?
just like, oh, I'm not gonna help you.
Oh.
Like Milo could just get killed here.
He's getting shot
Yeah.
at.
But he knows that since he was a good boy, his mom got abducted. That he'll apologize.
Yeah.
Is
His
that his
fault
thought on
mom got
this?
abducted.
I don't know. Probably
No.
not.
No, it is not.
Like I didn't get that at all. I thought Gribble was just a big child,
Big-
and he's just like,
Well,
oh,
yeah,
my feelings are
that's-
hurt.
Well, yeah, you got that correct. Too.
I love Milo took off his headset the moment that Gribble gets taken and puts it back on.
And he's confused that he's
Uh,
not there.
Gribble, where are
because
you at?
He's confused when
Where are you?
he could see the hologram over his eye the entire time.
But he
Yeah.
had to put it down at the right
So then
time
when
for
it's
him to
off,
not
it's
notice.
like, oh, you can't hear me now. Well, I mean, it was
I mean, it would have been
So
obvious
it's on
something was
me.
wrong.
You tell me you could have done it the whole time? Only works when it's funny.
I think it was an okay shot of showing the hologram to then go back to Milo.
Then he
Um,
climbs out the
it's
window.
fine.
The only
Okay,
window
well,
there.
yeah. He seems scared.
I would
Okay.
be.
Wouldn't you if you were getting chased by a bunch of Martians that just wanted to shoot you on sight?
I think this
Yeah,
was the only
he
time
seemed-
I felt something
think-
for the movie.
yeah.
To me, he seems scared of falling. Would he not try to take or just take off the weight belt, knowing that he survived the trash chute?
He would fall to his death still.
Yeah, I mean,
still dead.
That
low
wouldn't
But
really do
gravity, you're
anything.
still like, yeah.
death number.
I'm
What's
just
it?
saying
What
he's
are we at?
way down now
Thank you for
because
the
the weight
counter.
belt.
Yeah, but
I just don't know why he wouldn't take it off.
I mean, I guess sure.
yeah,
But either way, if he falls, he's dead.
you fall, you die.
I guess it gives him
Die,
more
you fall.
reaction time if it's off, if he flips or something. But yeah, that's the only window on that column. There's none above, below, or around.
Was
It's
it
just
like a
that
janitor's
one
closet?
window.
What was
Yeah,
that?
it's
Yeah.
like a janitor's closet. Why is there a window to
Mm.
nothing?
To show the outside thing, I don't know.
Were we? I mean, like I said, with the tension of him like crawling on the like walking along the ledge. It's one of the few times I actually felt something for the movie, and I actually quite liked it. It was immediately ruined by the guard that just scanned very slowly the surface with the light instead of just doing the casual like look everywhere quickly.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And then we got Key
Nice.
doing a graffiti part with invisible spray water thing. I don't know.
I don't know how it works.
Some
Very
invisible
lucky she
paint.
was there.
Yeah.
She could have been anywhere. She
Yeah,
happened to be there,
I have
and
no-
at that time.
Yeah, I have no idea how she did the art above like where all the thousands of soldiers on Camino walk back and forth. I mean, the Martians that walk back and forth, in their formations
yeah.
or whatever. I have no idea how she did that.
By the Botox part.
Yeah.
Who knows? And she throws this little rainbow pixie dust thing that activates the color. That never gets touched on.
I'm
or
fine with
explained
that
how
not getting.
works.
I'm fine with
Martian
that. Not,
science.
yeah, fine with that not getting explained. It's not super integral to the story.
But then she spots Milo, who then falls, waited just to, state, saves him. This whole time thinks he's just a normal Martian until she takes his helmet off.
Yep. Which is
Now,
dumb.
Martians are dumb.
Yeah.
What else
Jinx.
can be said? I don't know.
What I specifically wrote is this: Huzzah! Artist Martian is here because of reasons. I said I wrote here like she's probably my favorite character by virtue of the fact she hasn't had any English lines of dialogue, and I dig revolutions by art. And then I wrote
I'm not
immediately,
the fuzz, man.
and then I immediately wrote, "Can't wait for them to ruin her too." And then my next sentence is, "And she speaks, and I hate her." that is my sequence of notes and emotions in this.
And unfortunately, I like the whole hippie thing. I'm sorry to say, just because it was.
Gave me
No, the
Destroy All Humans vibes.
the hippie thing I don't have an issue with. I have an
It's
issue with
the
her
speaking
character.
English.
Yeah, I have the issue with her character. Like I said, I like her character concept, because I dig revolutions by art, as I said, but just doesn't apply well here.
Yeah. What are your favorite lines that she says when she's all?
This is so low temperature. Did they say that in the 70s?
Well, she's saying this is so
Or
cool.
that's just yeah.
She's
Well,
just
I
like
guess that's
being,
how-
yeah.
That's how it's translated from Martian to the translator Milo's wearing.
What is it to tune in or to drop out?
Powers do flowers have?
And what is the power of a flower? It's awesome. It writes itself.
A little bit of a seizure warning when she drops down the elevator chute. The green
those.
lights.
Yeah, I thought I was in Screensaver's layer for a second.
Yeah.
Do you have time now?
Oh, that's where The Incredibles 2 got the reference. They took it from this movie.
Yep.
And they improved upon it. Right, Riker?
Right.
It was really good.
This is really, yeah. The music improved. Michael Giacchino did a good job for that movie. The animation improved.
Dude, he should be paying us. We're like giving him so much freaking
Giacchino?
stuff. Yeah, Giacchino. We're spreading his name everywhere.
Yeah,
Anyway,
she's paying us royalties at this point.
It's
Anyway,
a chrysanthemum.
gotta point it out.
No.
Point out. Martian girl dies. Fall damage. We have another death.
No.
count.
no.
Oh, look at
Yeah,
their
key.
legs. They have massive shock absorber legs. It's all right.
Those shock absorbing legs are meant for running, not jumping.
We don't know that.
No,
I'm not a
I know
Martian.
that. I can say it biologically. I can say that biologically. Yeah, I know what they're built for. They're like horses' legs.
I know
They're built for
humans.
running.
I don't know these fictional Martians. I'm 50-50. I don't know.
Not willing to
Listen,
let that one go.
I'm
not
just
gonna
saying. I
let it
don't
go.
know.
You can have that one.
You get a 50% yes from me, Ryder. There.
Okay.
High marks, 50%.
Yeah.
Well,
Getting Springs to
no. I mean,
getting Springs
No.
to Griffin anything 50% is nice. There we go.
50%.
there's some weird when Key's giving her backstory on how she knows English. Some weird fast forwarding.
I would have loved to watch that show instead of this movie.
No, it looks like it looks like how like they have freaking destroy all humans, the hippies.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said. It reminds me of Destroy All Humans 2.
Yeah, that's how they pretty much how all the hippie stuff is played out. Is just like whatever, man. It's a chrysanthemum, dude.
It's still weird that she's fluent in English.
That's not a
Well,
That's what I
never-
said. I mean,
it's
talking
never
about that,
doing
if
that.
she's seen the whole show, it's a little better. If she saw that one episode or the one
Right.
thing she had, then no.
I mean, I watch anime in Japanese all the time. I don't speak fluent Japanese. I picked up a
Well,
few
that's
things.
just a personal problem.
That is
okay?
true. It is
Let's-
anecdotal.
yeah.
I will write it off as that. That is
Hey,
true.
I will say I do love people that. Okay, and this is not even. I'm not even gonna say like this isn't people saying that they watch Japanese, non-dubbed manga or manga anime. God damn it! Already ruined my point. Anyways, there's people that also like study, Japanese and all that stuff at the same time as they watch it, and then they're like, yeah, I understand Japanese perfectly well. I'm studying it, and I also watch it on, and I watch it, so I know how to speak Japanese. It's like, no, you don't. Don't. Unfortunately, I wish it worked like that, but I don't think it ever does. That's such a.
It's something you
TV.
can. It's definitely something you can do to like help yourself learn the language.
I think it works.
So-
There's a level of it where it would help you a little bit, but I think it's not the same as having a conversation with somebody in Japanese or any language, really.
That's true. So yeah, she's in the room, steals all the shows. Lucky that she could just walk into the top secret room, willy nilly.
Yeah, she's high ranking as far as we're aware. Maybe.
She's
When-
something.
She seems close.
No,
with
she
the,
explicitly says this is when she was in the academy. This is when she explicitly
Oh,
says.
well.
So
This movie's bad. Okay.
Wow, years at the Academy wasted.
Yeah.
Wasted.
I'd rather watch Lightyear than this, but that's not a compliment.
Well, at least that the science makes
it's
sense.
still, it's just a fact.
I
When-
watched this over Planet 51.
I like Planet 51. You watch your mouth.
I don't know if I think Planet 51's better.
I agree.
From the memory in my head last I saw the movie, I'll say that.
I avoided Planet 51,
I
so I
watched
will
it
not
recently.
speak
It's
on
better.
it.
Yeah. I watched
Why
it
is there an
recently.
antenna
it's better.
down there?
That's a funny joke.
It's funny.
Anyway, back to Marcy's moms before we derail onto a different movie again. When Milo is talking to Key about the reasons why he wants his mom back, and then stops and says, "Because I love her." To me, that was wild. That wasn't his whole purpose. Why is he going after his mom this whole time?
Just,
Fish-
I don't know.
He's
Out of
like,
the,
"Oh,
I guess
wow,
out of the
right now in
goodness of
this
his
moment,
heart.
love."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Out of the goodness of his heart, I guess.
I mean, even if you argue with your mom, you're not just going to let her die. I mean, come on.
well, no, but it wouldn't take that long to know the reason why. He's like, "I gotta make sure I get dinner tomorrow. Gotta get mom."
Someone's got to feed me and vacuum the house.
Yeah, he goes through all like the shitty jobs
And-
she has to do, like clean my
Dust the
clothes.
laundry.
Yeah, just
I mean,
you know all about that,
It's-
don't you, Crimson? Dusting the laundry.
it's actually one thing I
Vacuuming
will
the
say, I
ceiling.
do like the difference between the speech he gives the male Martians and like when he's trying to explain the stuff that she does explicitly, like just the activities, and then here where it's more personable. He explains the stuff that
Well,
she
Key actually
explicitly
speaks
does
English.
Yeah.
and yeah, that's true. But he also here is also explaining the stuff that she explicitly does for him. So it is
Yeah.
it is a little bit better. It's still bad, but
Kind takes me to Disneyland. Please visit Disneyland. happiest place on earth,
And nice little
Disneyland.
plug.
I didn't register for me until like afterwards, and I was like, oh, god damn.
Look at the camera for that one. Come in the
I
office.
So Milo goes down the trash chute, which is number 3. Where do you think the other 2 go?
The incinerator.
Fuck if I know, man. I don't know how the society works, other than that it's.
I'm just
stupid.
curious if the third one
two
goes
other
down to the
dumps.
trash.
Well, recycling and bottle.
I'm more
So
impressed
they
that
do
he found.
recycle.
I'm more impressed that he found his way back to the.
The first one's for pee-pee. The second one's for poo-poo.
Toilets.
Yeah. The third one's for trash.
Sure.
You know what? There's nothing that disagrees with that statement.
Sure.
That's true. Nothing that disproves it.
So that is canon now. Confirmed. There we go.
Gross.
So he jumps down the chute this time to go back to the trash to try to find Grimble. He's wearing the weight belt.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the first
So
time
he's
the
dead.
gravity, yes, this is another death. If the first one were like, oh no cuts, no bruises, no nothing, can go onto the gravity side of things. He's wearing the weight belt now, so he's dead.
Oh, he died on both of them. Yeah.
He died on both of them,
Oh,
but he
this,
just died.
this one's a
this one's a-
faster momentum pull.
Yeah, this was just
He keeps.
in the first one he dies screaming. This one he just splat.
Oh, like he's obsessed with zombies. Well, he is one now.
It's not just falling from that height; it's also falling on sharp metal trash. So he's impaled.
He's got a tetanus shot waiting for him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be coughing up
Remember-
rust.
He's 9.
That's right. He's not fully developed. He's got
No, he's got
flimsy
weak
bones.
bones.
He's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like he's got gaps in between his bones. It's all cartilage.
His
And
skull
then-
is still in like 23 pieces. So
He goes to the wreckage.
Ugh, gross.
it hasn't fused together yet.
What's that?
Disgusting.
I just have when he takes his belt off
This is where he takes his belt off.
to show, showing that he takes his belt off. So now he's not weighted down.
I was really annoyed that they put the picture of Gerbil and his mom on a T-shirt because it's so
Yeah.
abnormal.
It is weird.
No, that's an 80s thing.
But to have a picture is just much more normal.
Yeah, no,
That's
I'm
unique.
agreeing with you.
It would be a little more, I guess,
What
sensible
kind of self-centered mom puts puts a picture
I'm
of you?
thinking when Gribble went to go to his mom to Mars, along like what Milo did, it would make more sense that he was wearing a T-shirt to connect to this, mom connection of Gribble, than for Gribble as a kid to be just having a photo of his mom on him.
Well,
I
that's
guess.
the
a
writer's
wallet.
trying to throw it in there. Yeah, the kid had a wallet. No, they wanted a picture of the mom, and the best they could think of is it would be on his clothing, which is dumb. But we have it.
We have it. It's there.
Something I did also like to the art department was how you could tell he made his own clothes with his pants stitching and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
I approve of that as well. Yes.
If writer approves, it's good.
Well, it doesn't factor into my objective scale, but yeah.
No, but yeah.
And we get more of a time scale. We have 5.5 hours left once he finds Gribble
Actually,
stuff.
that's more of a character trait. Yeah, I guess that would factor in. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. Go on.
So it's been an hour and a half
yeah.
since he purple nurpled.
Oh,
I
this.
think.
Milo
You like the
finds
purple
Toucan,
nurpling, do you?
and
Huh?
Toucan shows that Gribble's gonna get shot.
He says, "Follow your nose
Yeah,
to
so
the
that-
fruity taste that glows."
So then he opened his sling ring and wait.
Yeah.
Wait a second. That's not from this movie.
Yeah, so he just appears there to save him. I don't know how he got
Yes.
there that fast.
With the dog pile joke. It also shows
Unauthorized
how
dog pile.
it also kind of shows how the guns work in this
It's
scene.
like liquid.
Yeah,
It's a pistol that can connect into like a rifle,
Yeah, I'm
but
okay.
the rifle has the fuel.
I'm okay with that. I mean, the Covenant have liquid weapons pretty much because that's
Yeah.
what plasma is to a degree. They have to superheat something. So
It's not the liquid part. I'm.
it's not that we have the
That's-
issue with, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine. That's cool. Like that. I like that. But it's still it's a weird visual.
So it's confirmed that Martians do public executions, which is hardcore, and I guess they mandate everyone to be there because
Yeah.
Key
Well,
is here, like tearing up in the front
They got
line.
that real quick.
dude, and their society is great. We need to bring that back.
No.
No.
Yeah, but like the whole armada's there,
The Armada's there.
and well, I'm just saying the whole female army of
Oh,
Martians.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
And you're right, Milo just comes swinging in out of nowhere. And I guess that means that Toucan can turn off his annoying bright ass light that blinds people. We didn't touch on when he first gets kidnapped, but I guess he can turn that off and just have the bubble and be silent because Milo comes swinging in on that cable.
He stole this device from the Dark Knight when he needed to, hop planes from the Chinese building that he was stealing Lao from. That's where this balloon comes from, right?
Precisely.
Maybe. Also, this whole time
Use
Gribble's
echolocation too.
we don't really know how long Gribble's been here, right? It's probably been 25 years to the next mom being captured.
I'm guessing 25.
If we're
From him
going
in
with
the 80s
that
to-
theory, yeah.
Okay. This whole time he's been here, he has never known about the execution grounds.
Oh, I
Because
think
he starts going
has.
like, "Oh wait, you're serious? You're actually gonna shoot me?"
It's dumb.
I guess that.
What, you mean you're gonna shoot me, Gribble? I'm Gribble.
Does he think this is a big like interrogation stage?
He's lived here for like 30 years.
I
Doesn't know how
find,
this.
I find it amusing that the supervisor just proceeds to give the "we're awesome" speech, about guns and shit, while Goebbels just rattling on in the background and she's talking in her own language. I did appreciate that she's talking in her own language, and we could kind of get the gist of what's going on.
I invented the Rubik's cube. I can teach you. All that other nonsense.
Dude, if I was in a situation where nobody ever seen a Rubik's cube, I would say I invented it.
That's fair.
Well,
So,
boy, I'll go Crimson. You can. The dog-piled guards that get knocked over, 5 of them.
Mhm.
The leader gets up, fine, like in a matter of seconds, gets back up, gives the gun to Key, tells Key to shoot. More guards are coming in from other sides. The 5 guards that got knocked over are still on the ground.
oh, they're dead. Yeah.
Yeah. They're on
They
recharge. They've been
There's
knocked.
4 other guns.
Okay, so
Just,
so here's the thing. D&D rules apply. They've been knocked prone. They need a full turn to recover.
Oh, that's how. No. All I can think of is the suits are weighted and they can't get up on their own. But with the gravity, that doesn't make sense.
What did Key think throwing the gun to him was going to do? There's no way she thought he was going to shoot into the floor.
I
She
don't know,
thinks she was just
shoot
going to have a
back.
shootout and die.
Yeah.
I guess just give him a shot. I guess give him a chance.
Dude, yeah. Come on.
And that's another thing I have in my notes. The guards that were coming up, like the 4 groups of
Weren't
guards, didn't shoot until they were a foot away. And we know how far of range those guns shoot.
Yeah, because
Yep.
they were shooting out of a hallway earlier.
They're on the firing squad range. They're just in an area to be shot at.
This movie sucks.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Then we get some male hug dancing. Yeah.
Ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga chaka.
I got this feeling.
100%
Oh, we're gonna get
cutscene.
DMCA'd. Stop.
Sounds too close.
Okay.
And yeah, and then they fall back down to the trash.
Okay. No. Hold on.
Again,
No.
the third time.
Before we do that, we got to talk about
Yes.
how many fucking layers of floor this gun shot through. 1, and in low gravity, how many floors they had to break through as they fell.
No, that doesn't matter.
I don't know if
No.
I'd call it floors. It was just grates, kind of.
Metal
It was
grates.
amazing
That
that-
make up a floor.
It was amazing that all those floors were magically weak enough that the weight of them together broke through. And
Yeah,
it
they're
was,
floaty weight.
Yeah.
That's true.
Low gravity doesn't help.
gotta love it.
Actually, I'm gonna guess this actually shows the distance the guns can shoot, because Milo shot through the ground, which caused the grates they fell through, until the one they landed on. So his guns stopped there. The ones shooting above are shooting down, which hit the grate they're standing on, but don't go through the grate. So I think that's the max range those quote unquote energy beams can go
Still a problem.
to deal damage or something.
Well, actually,
That's my
you know what?
guess.
You know, if you're right, this ruins stuff later in the film.
Oh, and that's a problem?
No, it just adds more.
Darn it! Thought this was a perfect film.
Yeah.
Now you're bringing up flaws.
Wait till there's more
What?
inconsistencies. Let's see. I do have one thing to praise about the scene, surprisingly.
Please.
Yeah.
Leave that at the door.
The fact that the other Martians actually look
Damn.
scared when the supervisor's yelling at them to open fire and attack. I'm assuming she's ordering them to open fire and attack because
Oh yeah. No doubt.
I don't get an
Yeah.
actual translation, but I assume that's what she's asking, just going by her gestures and pointing, and how absolutely terrified all the Martian civilians are. Of even the prospect of doing that, which is a nice little mini detail, I suppose.
I don't mean to counter your nice detail there. I'm not going to counter it specifically, but this is a bad detail that I picked up on in a similar scene. Why does the translator only work when it needs to work?
Oh,
Because of reasons.
the writers are dumb. That's why.
Yeah, because it only activates like, oh, this isn't, good. Most of the time, freaking the supervisor's just like yelling whatever made up language that they've made up for the Martians, and she isn't at all translated. Even in like,
Sure, I think I might have a reason for that.
Okay, please give it to me.
Like the guns, I think the translator has a range, and because Milo wasn't that close to her, he couldn't hear what she was saying, or the translator couldn't pick up what she was saying. That's the best I got.
We
I'll be
hear
right
her
back. I'm gonna go see some
talk at
vodka in
the
the fridge.
end, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We hear talk at the end. Is Milo near her? He's on the ground suffocating at that point, right?
I don't.
Far away
Does he
from
have his
him?
translator on under his helmet?
Well,
He has it
wouldn't
on
be
in that
someone
scene.
else, probably.
He is wearing
I don't
the
know.
translator.
I know
yeah.
there's like obviously if she's talking like in a room that he's not in, I can definitely understand why that it wouldn't be translating. But it seems like at least in that scene specifically, they're close enough or would be close enough where it would.
If you can hear them, it should translate them.
Yeah.
Huge problem, changes the
Oh.
movie.
I'm just saying it
No,
was
I agree.
annoying. Yeah. It's annoying because it's like I don't know. I would feel a little miffed if like I'm a voice actor and I have a scene where I'm just speaking gibberish to and nobody knows what I'm talking about, and then there's a translator for some reason. Anyways, didn't want to counter it too badly.
I mean, you didn't really counter my
Are we at
point.
the hug
It's
dance
completely
now?
different.
I know you counter your point. I just didn't want to give like you get a good thing and then I shit on a thing after. It's not
Oh please!
When did you-
I don't have enough feelings for this movie to do that.
Well, no, you don't. I'm talking about the movie's feeling. I don't want to shit on the movie.
Oh.
I'm lying. I totally want to shit on this movie. No.
So we get the hug dance, lovey-dovey stuff, and then
Little
we just
joke
get.
of dust hair.
Sure, I don't remember. That.
There's no feasible way the dust would have created around their face.
I can't believe that.
Okay,
man.
that was dust.
I can't believe they.
I thought that was dandelions. Or not, yeah, dandelions.
Dandelions.
Is that the fluff
I
or the
thought-
yellow?
I thought it was soap
I always get those wrong.
first, and then
Oh,
I think it's
Wow.
dust.
Let's see.
Yes. It's no. It's
Oh,
couch fuzz.
I got another dumb thing about the execution scene. So,
Sure.
Art lady cocks her gun for effect, which means someone in the fire line was stupid or didn't do their job, or the writers are fucking stupid. I'm betting the latter.
Yes.
When the gun comes out of a hand, it automatically goes back into safety. I don't know how the guns work. They're Martian guns.
Why did he break it?
They went through the effect.
because he couldn't. I don't know. The added rifle bit would have made it heavier in low gravity to throw them. I don't know. because a rifle wouldn't fit in Milo's hoodie. That's why the pistol can.
Oh,
Also, keep in mind this whole time Milo has the T-shirt in his hoodie
Yeah, I don't know how he fit that in there. I'm still lost on that one
with the gun.
with the gun.
Well, he has boy pockets. It's all right.
boy pockets.
See that's not
and then
sexist. That's just a fact.
Yeah, it is.
Something. It's not good, but something that's shown now is they can fly now. They have jetpacks.
Oh, they can fly now?
They can fly now.
They fly now.
They fly now.
Yeah, and they are not afraid to gun down the men.
Oh
They're
yeah,
not afraid
no.
to gun down anyone.
Yeah,
They're
we
just
learned
throwing
there's.
shots.
See, this
They
to
threw
me
them in
was
the garbage, so
this to me was more explicit of like, oh, they're just willing to shoot everyone and everything than the previous ones, like because they were chasing him, which you can write up, but no, this was like the
Chasing humans,
confirmation. This was the confirmation. They're gonna gun down anything.
Don't worry, they'll be all happily ever after at the end
Some
yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
hell.
sure.
somehow.
And then they jump into a sewer grate river. Gribble and Milo.
Amazing that they did not drown in there. There was a lot of networking tunnels where the water was flowing. Like they didn't hit their heads on anything.
Don't
Very
ball
lucky.
good.
Though,
And we get
the
introduced to
the
a
only good
new.
thing. Sorry, go.
I was just gonna say new Martian type, a new alien, just these jellyfish things.
Yeah, food.
Yeah, I thought they were the seeds from Iowa, but what do I know? Yeah, jellyfish. I agree.
It's just so far those are the only two. If I remember correctly, the only two living things on Mars.
Well,
Jellyfish and
there's the
Martians.
moss, algae, whatever stuff. You can't plant life.
Oh, the bioluminescent moss.
And we get the funny fat floats line.
Ha 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 ha.
There you go.
They also died at fall damage into the water, by the way. Just want to point that out as well.
No,
Well,
the pencil dived. It's all right.
they would have been injured, but I don't think they could have died.
Well, the injury
'Cause
would have
it was-
subsequently killed them because they would be able to swim.
Yeah. They didn't
Yeah,
hit the surface, so it was deep enough, and the water was moving, so it wasn't hitting like a flat thing of concrete. Yeah.
I was looking at my notes, so I did not see the actual contact with the water part.
They
Wow.
fall pretty far. They would be dead just because the water's surface tension will actually fucking kill you at a certain level, even in low gravity.
Very true.
We get another time moment here. We get 3.5 hours left.
3.5
So the whole
hours.
rescue of Gribble was about 2 hours.
Does that feel
So-
accurate to you?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, it certainly felt
Yeah.
like 2 hours to me. Yeah.
Gave Milo time to leave the trash and then just appear out of nowhere to save him, I guess.
I guess just to get the crowd around the execution grounds, I guess that makes sense, but I don't think it would take 2 hours to get Gribble to the execution ground.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's paperwork, the usual.
Yeah, it works.
Still bad.
You-
Yeah, the pacing of this movie is also pretty awful. Should probably bring that up.
Yes. Well, as we discussed that at the very beginning, the Sinister said it was a little too fast.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
12 minutes and they're on Mars.
I mean, I'm thinking that it's fine because the title of the movie is Mars Needs Moms, not Planet Earth Needs Moms. So you want to get to the Mars as quickly as possible, but still.
Yes. It's not paced like Left Behind where it takes half an hour to get a start.
Hobo now has PTSD from guns when his handcuffs get blasted off.
Yeah, he's scared of the gun, and then he goes, "What are you doing?" Blah, 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 and he goes, "There's not much," and just chucks it away.
Yeah.
Gives it back to Milo.
True
I
friend.
saw an animation error during this part.
Oh,
Um,
sweet.
Yeah, when Gribble takes the shirt from Milo and he goes to the rock and sits down, the shirt clips through the floor.
Oh my God.
Holy fuck.
Oh,
3 years
Big.
and they let
It's
that pass
massive.
by.
I don't know how they managed to do that.
look, they got an error in Frozen. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
I
a big one
I
too.
got
but-
I got another one. I got another one coming up here as well. Actually, animation error for this scene, but it's when Key gets here, so I'll get to that.
Yeah, what a waste of 3 years. All these animation issues.
Oh my gosh, Crimson! I have it up in the background watching it. Yeah, it does clip right through the floor.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I mean, if I caught it, then it's an obvious problem.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. The whole shirt bit, I guess, was okay. Yeah,
Gribble's
Yeah.
backstory.
it's what it was.
Yeah.
To me, that was the only time I actually felt something.
My cold dead heart just had a beat there for a second, and then my issue is that it
One
just
whole beat.
kept going.
Oh, your heartbeat kept going?
No,
That's
the
a problem.
scene kept going.
Oh,
Well,
No.
yes, my heartbeat kept going. That is still a problem. I don't want to be here. But no, my
I just, yeah, I felt bad that Gribble's thought was it was his fault.
yeah,
That was a good addition to his character. I
yeah,
like that.
I liked it too. It was neat.
If I hadn't been such a good little boy, she
Should have been a terrible kid like you.
I mean, it sounds funny, but it's actually a good character,
Yeah.
thing because
I thought
it's
it
actually good.
once we kind of actually go into the physical backstory of his history. I think that's when I started getting annoyed because I thought at that point I thought it was dragging. The only important bit in this is the end part where, he drops Chekhov's helmet and
Uh-huh.
and
Oh, I got a note about that. but
yeah, he drops Chekhov's helmet and then he kind of resolves to never let it happen again. So he sort of talks himself into doing it, into helping out Milo, which again is fine. I liked the first half of it. I started to drag in the second half, but the important parts were him watching his mom get vaporized and Chekhov's helmet. So
That
it
was
is
so
there for a
dark.
reason.
That was so dark.
That was so dark. A child running to save his mom and then watching her get disintegrated.
It is
It's
pretty dark.
weird, though.
And getting stuck on the planet. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's and then Milo's like, "What do you mean you never got to say you love her?" Don't worry about it. Because when he explained it, he just said like their memories get destroyed or whatever.
I think the scariest thing to think of, which never show, is
Mhm.
the first thought of when Gribble thought to take off his helmet.
Huh?
That makes sense. Like as a
No.
kid, like you're on Mars. Why would you ever take your helmet off?
Did he think about it? I forgot.
I
Is
don't
there a
remember.
gesture?
It has him wearing the helmet as a kid, and then we know Gribble as this adult isn't wearing.
Oh,
it.
you're saying at some point he took it off.
At
Okay.
some point he took the helmet off. That's
it could have
probably
run
a
out
really
of
dark.
oxygen, and he had to do that.
And found he
Could have
could
been a
breathe
suicide
in the
thing.
hollowed
Yeah.
area of Mars. Yeah.
I'm like, I just think that would be a really dark thing to see.
Oh, I was trying to figure. I thought you meant like he was tried to commit suicide or something. Like
Well,
Jesus.
that's what
Hey.
Springs is implying as
Through his
He
teenage
tried.
years, who knows? I don't know.
it
I'm just
could have
thinking it
been
could be dark.
I have
could've
to
been
put a trigger
three
warning in
things.
this.
out of oxygen, testing it out, or wanted to end it all. But we don't know which
We
option.
don't know.
We'll never know.
I will say the music here, the piano, is lame. Cookie cutter,
Lame.
trash,
Trash.
trash.
Well, I thought it was okay.
It was the most generic sad piano thing I've ever heard in my life. I've heard a lot of sad piano songs. All right,
Remember they
think
locked.
it's just like a-
Remember they locked John Powell in a basement for this. So
Yeah.
it took him a while to get free. He just wanted to get out.
By a
Okay.
basement.
Crimson, it just sounded like default garage band to you?
yeah. Well, actually, that's an insult to GarageBand.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did it sound like an audio jungle?
Yeah.
Sure, whatever that is. I don't know. I didn't think it was good.
And then suddenly, 2 Toucan
shows up.
and Key appeared.
And then suddenly Seymour. Sorry. Go on.
I guess
There-
maybe Gribble has a tracker on himself, or Toucan. What was the name?
Toucan might have fucking a tracker with Gerbil. That's the only thing I could explain of, but then Milo just explains, oh yeah, Toucan brought her here. I'm like, wait, was this part of the plan? He says it in a way that implies like he knew that she was going to be there all along.
Yeah, all I can think of is this is where Key also gets her paint or colors.
Well, I mean, I would agree if not for the conversations we get later.
Yeah.
But the animation issue that I have in this scene is after, like, you know, it's sort of towards the end of his freaking out. Gerbil's looking directly into the camera, and Milo's looking directly at Key. You know,
A key?
so good direction, I guess. Animators, what the fuck?
The best.
It was the storyboard artist's fault, right? Can blame them.
You're right. Just looking right at the camera.
Yeah, you found it?
Terrible. I just did.
Okay, all right.
That's bad.
I'm happy that you found it, mostly
Oh,
because
boy.
I was confident enough, but I wasn't 100% sure.
And you too, audience, you can find it too.
Yeah, you too. Watch
Do
this.
you want to timestamp it for them?
Yeah, hang on. I'll get it.
Hmm.
It is at roughly 54:38 in the film.
Oh, we still got 40 minutes left.
On Disney Plus, because we don't know if it's
Yeah, it's
different
on
on the
Disney Plus.
DVD.
We don't know. They could have fixed it or made it worse, or who knows? They could have splashed it. Don't know.
If it's on streaming and it's like that, it's probably how it is.
To me, we got this whole dual first lingo of 70s versus 80s.
We got to beat
Good
feet.
and-
You mean run? Yeah. Beat feet.
Is that
Beat
something
feet.
she said in the 70s?
She said beat feet. I've
Yeah,
never heard that
we
term
gotta-
in my
we-
life.
As
We gotta beat
someone who knows people who were alive back then, no, they did not.
Beat feet. Funny.
I mean, it makes sense, but I never heard of that.
Still cringe.
I'm keeping it.
Sure.
That is a term I will use. When I'm playing Overwatch, I'm like, I'm going to be beat feeding over to the point, guys.
You're gonna immediately
I'll leave
forget
the
about
game.
that in a week.
Find
You're
out when we
immediately
play
forget
Overwatch
about
after podcast. How about that?
Yeah.
We have. Oh well, I guess it's a bit later. Unless anyone wants to talk about the mural
Yeah.
or
before the-
Gribble's
I
blushing.
like
It's all a
I like the
lie.
blushing joke. I liked the changing color thing.
It's so bad.
It looks horrible, but it was.
It's so bad
amusing
it's
the first
good.
Oh, it's very cartoony.
Yeah.
You just
Uh,
have never blushed before, Sprinks. It's all right.
They turned
You just
feet
haven't
red.
found the right alien yet.
Oh no, I haven't.
You need to find another girl, another planet. Yeah.
Oh boy, thanks guys. Anyway, we have Gribble knocks into the vines, which cause the vines to go down, which reveals the mural. So that's to me, yeah, it can show that Key has been down here and never seen the mural because Vine's been covering it.
Can you use that voice all the time, please?
was
No.
Key down here before? I never got a line to
I don't
imply
know.
that she was.
The way she reacts, I don't think she's been down here.
Okay, my thought was this is how she gets her color. I don't know how else she gets her color up in the facility or anything, or the devices to do it. So
I would welcome that hypothesis, but the way I read her here, it doesn't.
Yeah,
seem like she's been here
unfortunately,
before.
like, I would welcome it, but it doesn't help. It's almost like this movie's bad. And it was
Almost.
Yeah, almost. It's also just a weird random mural. I don't know what that's doing there. It's a random family portrait, I guess. I don't know. And I don't know how there can be more of that stuff elsewhere.
there might be. He just
Or-
happened to fall over the vines on this one.
Or this underground area. Is this just a forgotten area?
As far as I just assumed it's the ruins of their own civilization that they just built on top of. That's all I could figure out about it. It's just here.
Crimson, some think in their own canon that this is all under a church, but
Yeah,
that's a reference for
Capcom.
2 people. Sorry.
just
Oh,
2.
Capcom. Alright.
Anyway, yes, I think this is a mural of the begotten days before they thought, the nanny bots, and when families actually existed on Mars.
Yeah. Crazy. I mean,
Whether that was
Crazy.
topside and they could breathe normally, or evolved to use I don't know. Who knows?
just a picture the events that had to take place for this to happen, where I guess all the women, or at least most of them, were like, "Yeah, let's just throw all the men in the trash," and then hundreds of years go by. Who knows how much time has gone by?
Yeah.
And then it's forgotten to time. But Granny over here remembers it all, which would probably mean all the other older people would remember it.
Well, we don't see any other older
I
people,
don't
so
know.
They,
killed all the old
it's
people, I
strange that
guess.
they kind of blame it on her, but she also doesn't really say anything directly hints that she knew all along. Other than her just being stubborn.
I think there's
and
enough context clues to imply she knew it. Did
I
you
guess.
not
confirm
get
or
that from
deny.
I didn't get any context clues. I just got that she was stubborn.
It's a good one.
that either way? I don't care.
I'm kind of with Crimson on this because there's no other old aliens. There's no other old Martians. It's just her.
Oh, there's one. We just don't see
Yeah,
her
there's
ever
one
again.
other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All I can think of, she wiped out her whole generation to
Hmm.
raise a new generation with this way.
Possibility.
That would be
It's-
interesting
it's
if it was just
possible.
her and the other old one, and then 25 years go by and a new batch of
That's why
Martians
no
come
one
up.
questions it or knows anything about the mural or, the past.
That would be awesome if this was like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where they just find a cave full of skeletons, and wow, just massive Martian genocide by this one lady.
Yeah.
Dude,
That would make this
changes
movie slightly better, but they didn't.
slightly. They didn't go because they had to make her be somewhat redeemable in a sense.
Made her
Or
a bad guy, not an
What?
evil villain.
Yeah.
There's nothing redeemable about that.
no,
lady.
I'm just saying like yeah, but if she committed mass genocide, they would have just like murdered her firing squad, not like put her on baby duty.
Hey, that's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think she should have been there anyways. Baby duty.
Duty baby.
Under her orders, who knows how many people they've had to kill because of what she said. So she should have just been put in the shooting range per se. Anyways,
Whoa.
So
When they're in the, I guess, ventilation after going over the plan,
Mhm.
the spider bot toucan has a lot of strength to hold all 3 of them.
yeah, it's a 1,000-foot climb that we have seen off screen. How convenient.
Because my little thing is the cable strong enough? Not toucan.
I mean,
Well-
the mechanism within Toucan would have to be able to carry the weight as well as the rope. It's a lot of weight, especially with the fat guy.
Rebel. George.
Oh, I know what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know.
Just adding to the weight here.
I thought it was interesting that also knowing the English and the television show that Key watched to know English, she says terrorist.
Like I
That was a word that shocked
she
me a
tried
little.
to take as much as she could off of what they had. So I'm willing to believe they have more than just that hippie show. They had other television programs.
Mm.
It's a problem that
That's
she
how
was
I
in the room
pictured
at
it.
all, but if she was there to steal everything, I'm assuming she stole more than just the. Yeah.
You'd hazard to guess,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, something else, with this in the background. I just had to double check. She is speaking in Martian because it's going through the translator. She's not speaking English to the Martians.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got that part, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make sure. Except I think at the very end, she says, Does she say love or something? She's like explaining to them like what they should be doing, and she just uses English.
and the translator
which to the
just
Martians,
gives
they-
out.
Well, she speaks normal English, so they wouldn't know what she's saying.
Yeah, I know.
She's like giving a whole speech and then speaks a different language at the end.
Yep.
What do you want? It's a Disney movie.
So they have to go through the jail to get to the silo, to get to the ship, and then run on the surface to get to Mom.
It makes total
What a,
sense.
what a
Yeah,
plan!
they had a plan.
What a plan. It is a plan.
It is here in my notes that I wrote down. I guess it just crossed my mind. Why do they keep the guys in the trash? Why don't they just
Because
kill
men
them?
are trash.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
so
know,
it's just
pick
a
up
big. It's a symbolism.
No.
I
They
don't
want
know.
to want to feel good about themselves. Like they want to pretend they're not genociding their race. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean, putting them down there, they probably think they are killing them. Most of them, right?
Yeah, 'cause
Why
there's
would
no
they
food or
care?
anything,
It's a
yeah.
trash. Yeah.
They probably did until they took them all prisoner. I assume they intended to use them as target practice at some point.
Good. Who knows?
Who knows? I don't know. It's
but-
not the worst thing in this movie. It's just why they're putting them in the trash. It's unexplained, which it should be explained, but
Yeah.
Another. I mean, you guys touched on magnets before.
yeah, magnets.
He uses two knockout things to take out the two guards. And one of them starts waking up, and then Toucan hits her again. It has no needle.
Yeah, I noticed this too.
It's just a flat cap, like a lip gloss container.
Yeah.
It's a
I have no idea.
Is that a
concussive
magnet?
device.
Is
Concussive device. There you go. I don't know.
And if Crimson doesn't know,
The
we
only-
really don't know.
I mean, the only way I could explain it is in nothing they show in the film, so I don't care enough to.
Sure.
So that's pretty much where I'm at with
It's
it.
a taser. When it comes in contact with the being, a current goes through. There you go. I don't know.
Sure.
could buy that.
They also go to the prison again, and they
Wingnut!
Again.
save Wingnut, which means when they went down to get them in the trash, when they shot through the floor to get to the trash, they captured all the guys down there.
For reasons.
All of them. Yeah.
I also would like to point out that he opens one cell, which magically opened all the fucking other ones.
I guess it opened all of them. I only meant to open one.
Being that
Huh,
he
I
missed
guess that's the second
button
time
for the
it screwed
trap
up.
door, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine showing that he makes mistakes because he's done it before.
He's
No,
been doing this for
don't-
25 years.
I don't have an issue with him making the mistake. My issue is that him opening one door opened the rest of them.
Oh, they were all connected to one panel.
Yes,
what you're
because
saying.
there's a panel for each door. We see that.
Ryder, he's just that good at hacking.
Fucking, I guess. We got Sombra
That's
over
all
here.
I need.
Unacceptable.
And who let the dogs out?
And then
Awesome.
they get all sad because they're putting the babies down in the trash, and they're like, "Who's gonna raise them? All the guys are up here."
Yeah, because
Oh,
there's no
no.
way the guys can go down
Oh,
there.
no, it's not like the trash chute is right next to us.
No, they're dumb. Remember?
Well, yeah, they tried
Oh,
teaching
yeah.
them to go down, and Wayne just is confused.
When you?
Dumb as a bag of rocks, I think is what he
I
said.
mean,
I know what they're saying, though.
evidently they've never taken the trash chute because they're put down there by the claw.
They,
So
they were born down there, essentially.
I would have just picked one of the Martians up and put him down the chute. It's like follow him and then walk away.
Yeah, but then they're gonna be like,
whoa, that's when you get killed.
that's when you get
Alright.
hugged to death.
"Woo!" I was
Oh boy.
gonna say something that was gonna sound a little not what I wanted to sound like.
It was
Uh,
close.
it was close. I kept it against it.
Okay, now they're at the rocket.
Yes, they
are.
just appear there. That is true.
And the door, the doors above start opening, sucking air out. We can see the animation of the air being sucked out. all the
Just something that-
Martians.
Yeah.
Do they have? I didn't. They have
You
helmets
got the
on.
TV.
Yeah, they have helmets on. Everyone's got a helmet on.
Guess they're not air
One of my
sight.
problems with the helmets is how they're human sized. Because these the Martian heads, shocker, they're not the same shape as human heads, and so it's a little interesting.
They do have custom sized ones. That's true. They're not all the same size.
And
It's for the young
their
female
necks are
ones
small
when their
too.
heads aren't fully developed to grow yet.
Okay, that's an explanation.
It's a thought. Maybe. I don't know. Anyone else get the really cool joke of Gribble not using the word key to start the engine?
That was a joke that definitely did not go on for too long. I assure you.
But I mean, I guess key's a word because you can use keys to unlock stuff.
See, I've got a crush, so I'm just going to be a babbling idiot.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Keys. Oh yeah, but I want to do it on TV.
Definitely not on TV.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then Toucan pulls a Goddard and throws up bolts.
Bark, bark.
I felt the same thing. I was like, oh, this is it's making me uncomfortable.
Not great.
Not great.
Yeah, terrible word to use as well, as we see later.
Gribble.
Yeah, a bad word.
Dale.
Man, should I make the password the and see if that becomes a problem? What? Why would you say something that straightforward?
Because it's funny. Because it makes
It was
more
hilarious.
makes it.
Hilarious.
It was
I died
hilarious.
laughing. My stomach hurts. Still.
So, I guess to put more tension into the, oh no, is he going to save his mom? Milo falls down to a
Oh my
trench.
god, the movie's still going?
Yeah, he gets stuck in a trench, then gets out of the trench because he gets saved
Man, these
by Gribble.
these
now Gribble
ledges
has
really
this-
suffer from low gravity.
Yeah.
When he tripped on the rover. But don't worry,
Rover.
Nasaw or whatever we said.
NASA,
Didn't
yeah.
notice.
Bunch of
Didn't
naysayers.
notice that.
I left
And
a
then
very
Gribble's got
very
this-
scathing message in my notes, but I'll share with you after the fucking podcast.
Gribble's got this backpack machine leg thing.
Out of
Jetpack.
nowhere.
Exoskeleton.
He's got the exosuits that the Marines use in fucking Avatar 2.
Avatar, yeah.
The Marines are in those
That
fucking
is
fucking-
true.
Coincidence?
It makes him taller.
I think not. More Incredibles. Yeah, so he
That's
expected
incredible.
Milo to run there when
Yeah.
he had this
That
jetpack
was the
device.
plan.
Well, because remember, it worked out so well for him when his mom got, kidnapped, him just running there.
He's got a few screws loose, okay? Is it enough justification? No, but he has screws loose.
He could have had Toucan fly Milo there.
Yeah, that too. He could have done that.
True,
He doesn't really care, it's not his mom.
And Gribble starts electrocuting himself to stall. And Key has a camera to see where Gribble is. And I don't think the camera she's seen him on exists.
Oh, probably not. No.
Because that's when she says his name to activate the launch.
Mother always
remember.
said, "Son, you got to do the right thing."
Very original.
Yeah.
Very inspirational as well.
I said, "What a good payoff this would be in a better movie."
Maybe.
You can make cliches work. Yeah.
When Milo goes in to get his mom out, I wrote, why does he take his helmet off? That's just wasting more time.
That's another thing. I have no idea why mom is not drugged and why she's still asleep in her bed. She just assumes that the giant noise is a cartoon.
I don't
Yeah.
know why there aren't any Martians there.
That's also true.
Because they've never had another person be on the planet Mars before.
You mean why
Oh,
there's
wait.
no Martians?
Not as security,
mom?
just like a scientist or something. I feel like
They know
there should
how-
be someone overseeing it.
They know how it works.
Wait, Crimson, you mean with the mom?
Yeah.
Only thing I
Yeah.
can think of is when Gribble's mom got taken. You see two I don't know, guards or scientists, 2 Martians running away.
2 things.
I guess they
So
don't
I
want to be
think it
blinded
just-
by the light. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the sun just takes anything away and damages, any living thing in there.
Well, we see that doesn't happen though.
No.
What are you,
Because
the
Milo and his mom are
frickin'?
fine when it happens.
What are you, the frickin' Mars Team's mom's police?
Well, unless it actually needs a biological
Organic
being, an organic thing to cause that explosion, whatever thing, because it just sends electricity by missing.
And when the electricity surged through everything, including the robots that were holding babies, they all got fried, right? Babies.
Babies.
Well, yeah,
How many
the
times are you gonna
babies
say
should have been.
babies?
Babies.
The hatchlings and babies should have been fried a little, and then when
Little.
I don't know if it's wingnut, but
little.
one of them like drop kicks the nanny bots. They just start knocking all the babies over.
Yeah, they do.
Also, the male Martians come out of all 3 ports, so unless they're all trash, that's kind of gross.
Yeah.
And a good thing they came out right when the power thing happened. That was very well timed on their parts. Nice that they coordinated and planned out this attack, something they've never done before up to this point.
Honestly, I think we've had so much sarcasm laid throughout this. It's not even going to be able to be told that we're not actually being.
I love this movie.
Good boy. It's gonna get isolated.
We're all gonna be fluent in this. We're all gonna be fluent in sarcasm by the end of this.
No, I'm gonna be like talking to somebody at work or something, and they're gonna be like, hey, can I get? You want fries with that?
That'd be funny.
So then the hatchlings attack the armored stuffed Martians, which to me kind of just reminded me. It didn't really remind me. It was just like the CDA in Monsters Inc. It's like, oh no, kids, they're gonna kill me with their germs or something.
Were they actually called the CDA? Is that
in Monsters Inc.
Child? What did that stand for?
I don't know. Let's watch Monsters Inc. and talk about.
All
the
right,
fact
another
that-
animated movie. All right, let's talk.
You tell me there's been like 10 animated movies better than this one
I'm just
movie?
saying, it
At
sounds
least.
like this movie is so painful to talk about something else that would help the time, but we have to
Yeah.
get through this.
That's true.
I don't want to. If we
Oh,
finish this,
yeah,
I'd like
almost
10
there.
minutes left. We have to get through this.
Ooh, okay.
speed run to go.
Mama's wearing a Carolina Panthers shirt. Your football team sucks. Anyways, next.
Oh,
Shots
because
fired.
I
No,
get it
there's-
because she's a cougar.
There's no, God, no. I read some facts about the reason why she's wearing this, and it's like the number 21 or something hasn't been used for a player or something. I can't remember. It was a fact
Oh,
that I
so
didn't think was going to be as big as the other ones I used.
It's fair.
I think one of the dumbest lines here to go with the science and not science is Milo saying, "We need air. We can't breathe the air outside," and he says, "Mom, it's Mars. Can't breathe."
That is pretty dumb.
But they don't need suits. They don't need special protection. They just need air.
yeah,
That's all I
they
need.
don't want to grapple with the concept of Martian desert storms.
Sorry.
I will say,
that's something they would tackle in the sequel.
yeah. So I will say, I do like the mom's reaction to being on Mars. Like that's sensible.
Oh, this freaks out.
E-
Yeah.
Even in a dream, this is how you would react to just suddenly being here.
Because of how they animated the face, it's so funny to me.
Oh, yeah, it's
Just-
hilarious, but
that
it's
was
still
the worst
it's-
animated part.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. The animation is horrible. It's hilarious, but it still makes sense that she would just scream.
No, yeah. I
Oh,
was
Joanne
like,
Cusack's mocap. Yeah.
Joanne Cusack.
Her eyes were closed and open at the same time. It looked very weird.
She was
All the
sweet.
muscles around her face imply closed eyes, but you can see your eyes still open. It's really weird. Granny tries to kill them while they run away.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible that they got so far in such a short amount of time without that jetpack on the return trip.
Yeah, incredible the range that this gun actually has. When
Yeah, and the scope is incredible as well.
The scope shown fine. The range on it, we've seen what these guns can do. I mean, it seems like it has to be really close to kill. So it could probably stun them and make them uncomfortable.
Gun.
I don't know.
Helmet broke. Everyone's sad. Big sad.
That's
I
what he
almost
wrote?
cried.
You're writing a haiku?
He actually wrote big sad, much sorrow.
I don't know. It was
When-
good that the mom gave up her helmet, I guess.
Like I
Well,
said,
that-
in a good movie, that would have been very powerful.
It would have.
When
Too bad she lived through this.
something I thought was dumb, another dumb thing to add, Gribble sees what's going on. He had the action to take out Granny, but instead of taking the Granny's helmet, he runs all the way to get his old helmet.
And
All the
because he
way.
knows
Yeah.
exactly where it is. Yeah.
He needs well, I mean, I'm fine with him knowing where it is. Lucky that it's still there. I'm fine with him knowing where he dropped it because you remember traumatic experiences very well, like the locations of them tend to.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So I'm fine with him knowing where the helmet is. I still take issue with this. A lot of other things.
Would there still be oxygen in there?
That's what
Well,
I,
and
I take issue with a
you
lot of
think
other
it's like an
things.
oxygen tank. I don't think it is. I think it just
You can't convert 99% anything other than oxygen into oxygen. That's
Why
not
not?
possible.
This is Martian technology.
It's not
You got
possible.
it.
We don't know
Crimson.
how it works. This is how it works for them.
0.1% oxygen. It's all right. That's fine. Fine.
come on, we got 5 more minutes.
I'm not
come
dying on this hill on this movie. I'm not doing it.
No, there's nothing worth dying on the hill for this movie.
Well,
He
oh.
not only starts piloting the ship, but also was able to take override it, and because
She
believe
learned,
they said in
she
their
learned how to fly
plan-
really fast.
yeah, but I believe they said in the plan it was just to reuse the
Same coordinates. Yep.
same coordinates
Reuse.
as the last mission that was used to get the mom. So would the ship not continually? The ship was designed then to continually just go to Earth to where it last was. So Key had to override that.
Yep.
To then take manual control. Don't know how.
Yeah, she's really
She's
known for her
neat.
technical skills, right? And not her artist ones. That was built up in the movie a lot.
Yes, it was an artistic choice to take over manually. Say that.
It's funny.
Um,
Something else I
I'm gonna
had.
complain
when
about the
helmet-
glass breaking. That's
Oh,
thin
go
as
ahead.
fuck. That shouldn't. I don't know. Astronauts are given helmets when they trip that they can get back up. Like it's not gonna
See,
break.
it's Martian glass.
Human
so
ones. Yeah,
problem
exactly.
solved, yeah.
Martial
Sorry.
glass.
It's been countered.
Very
the only-
thoroughly. I feel defeated. I'll raise my
To
score.
go back to what I touched on why Gribble. I mean, Gribble should have just taken her helmet, the Granny's helmet, and given it to the mom. But I guess
That's
he's not a.
gross. Ew.
Well, I guess he's not a killer because
I
it
mean-
would have killed her.
Yeah, it would be very dark for a kids movie if they did that. I would approve of it because I don't care about the lady, and you know what? I'm more about saving the mom because I guess the kid likes her more.
I love how everybody stopped fighting when the helmet broke.
Yeah,
I don't know why they would.
yeah. And remember, the whole of Martian society is watching on giant television screens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a detail I
It's
actually
the
kind of
Truman
like.
Show.
I kind of like. Don't
Everyone
please don't talk about
stops.
that movie in this movie. Oh boy, don't connect them. Something I thought was a little cool was the female alien, the female Martians, when they're celebrating like the whole turn, they're kind of learning how to hug and dance. It's not just like easy for them to do. I kind of like that detail they had because that's something they were never taught or told to do, and that's all what the male Martians did.
Hmm.
Another compliment to throw out to the artists. The watch did reset when the
Yes.
thing went off. Yeah. So continuity, good on them.
Continuity.
I'm just impressed the helmet
Every
works.
time.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta have
And,
something work in this movie.
When the supervisor is shown to be a liar or just concealing stuff, the mom is just standing there,
Yeah.
so
Artist lady
confused.
teleported out of the ship to hit her in the back
Like-
of the head.
Did I miss something?
What's going on here?
So this is like really complex. I don't
drugs
really
again?
think. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have smoked that crystal meth.
And then
She wouldn't have
Milo
slept
and
if
his
she did
mom
that.
get back to Earth.
I realized. Okay, before we do that, sorry. I'm
Oh, okay.
gonna rip a spy back to Mars. So
It just sounds like you're trying to get through this, but yeah, okay.
I know. Yeah, I know. So before we do that, I had an issue. I wasn't annoyed with the out of sync audio for like the final monologue.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal. I mean, like, yeah, it fixes itself
This is
by
being
the end.
translated.
Yeah, I couldn't deal with it by the end just because I mean, like, they deal with it by the end because it just the double layered audio fixes itself, but it's still annoying in the middle of it. Like when at this like for most of the monologue that I had to listen to both voices because it was just like taking away from like what was supposed. Not that it had anything else going for it, but it was taking away from what was supposed to be like an emotionally driven speech about to that we need to better ourselves and things like that.
Did you love the reason they gave for why men were thrown away?
Because it didn't help out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
men never helped, so we threw them away.
From the
Awesome.
perspective of one old Martian.
And
Yeah.
and remember, these soldiers aren't loyal at all. So this is the best that this society can come up with, I guess.
Men were useless, so we threw them away. Nice. Thumbs up.
Milo and the mom get home. Gribble wants to stay with the Martian.
Yeah, he wants to paint with her. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He said that.
happened. But hey, they had such deep chemistry, and they bonded really
He's
well.
really
throughout the course
good
of
at
the movie.
red.
They looked into each other's eyes, which means it's time. Mm-hmm.
If I think
Time to
Bumblebee
paint.
has more setup in Ruby than this, that's a problem.
Oh, I don't know. They're pretty similar.
No,
Both just looking at each other in the eyes is pretty much all they got.
Bumblebee has some more setup than that, but whatever. That's a discussion we can argue about later.
Later.
And then the dad gets home. Convenient.
Hey, yeah.
His flight worked out.
Did.
Oh fuck. Do we? I'm spent.
And then, classic. You and Milo have a great weekend, and then he looks in the camera. He's got the gun. Ha.
Dude, that face at the end was freaking nightmare fuel. That was terrifying.
That
He
was the
looking into
moment.
my soul and ripping it to shreds.
That was the moment Crimson he realized this movie had become self-aware, and he grew scared.
We already had people looking directly in the camera earlier, so it's already happened. It's set up. It's not out of the blue.
And then we go to the epilogue credits, which is still animated, so I guess we talk about it.
Yeah.
At least up to the mocap part.
He's talking about colors to the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Really, you're just gonna
and
call
they,
them
and
Power
they just
Rangers,
fly
okay.
away. We see that she has spray painted art onto everything, and the whole of their society is celebrating the reunification of the Vulcans and the Romulans.
I'm sure that'll last. forever.
Fuck.
Yeah, it looks like chaos, but go on.
So this is based on a book, so another one to add to Writer's
Oh
Collection.
wow.
Oh, fuck. I actually looked for it because I'm like, there's no way. Because I saw the writer, he was a novelist. Because I actually looked at the writer because I was so annoyed with him. I wanted to see if I'd read or seen any of his work. Only books came up, and I had the slight fear that this was a novel. And I didn't find it because I didn't search hard enough, apparently. And you know what? Fuck.
I think it's like a kid's book. I don't think it's like an actual novel, right?
I
don't
hope
know, I've
so,
never read
because
it.
I'm not going to waste more than an hour reading that book.
Well, it's probably better than the movie.
It's true.
And then the granny gets peed on. Haha, funny.
Yeah. Hilarious! Oh man, I chuckled. I lied. I did not chuckle.
And then
Why do you
we
lie?
I don't know.
And we
and
get
we
final
see that
pranks
the
on
rover
NASA.
works. Yeah, which just makes the fact that it exists is just makes a problem of the movie.
Yeah.
It's so bad. But hey,
by the
Griddle
way-
or Grumble or whatever his name was got to talk to what's his face through the rover. So that's awesome.
By the way, I am looking at it now. It is NASA.
Oh yeah, of
It's
course.
not.
It's-
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was a fictional, like space
No.
program
No,
thing.
no, no, no.
They actually have the logo.
They do have the logo. Yeah, that's why I said NASA. I'm just gonna call it NASA to separate
Does
it.
the rover get projected to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory?
You say Prover?
No,
Jet
there's monitoring.
Propulsion
There's
Laboratory,
specific
California Institute of Technology.
there's specific monitoring stuff for the rovers, and they do look like jet propulsion laboratories. They're kind of built in a similar way where the big screen is what the rover sees through its main cameras and stuff like that. So it's not too big of a leap that they projected it to just the rover control rooms, but
What's a big leap is that they didn't notice at the front of their rover's a picture
yep.
and didn't see the aliens put the picture in front of it.
Yep. I know one of the rovers is officially dead.
Yeah, I think
but
there's only like 2 or 3 left on there.
yeah, but I think the other one is still working fine.
And then we get mocap during the
Yeah.
credits, a little behind the scenes, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, I was amused by the prank. I guess it just makes everything worse, but it was amusing. I guess. Ha ha ha! Sacrificing your world building for the sake of joke is a great, wonderful writing tool.
It is. I love it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Well, now that we've gone through Mars Needs Moms, let's go through summaries and the ratings.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay.
Should we start with Ryder here?
All right, you want to read your 15 pages just straight?
No, I really don't. Okay. Where do I even start?
Well, hopefully at the beginning.
Either objective or subjective.
I'm gonna go with subjective first, but let's get my summary out of the way. So, as you know, we're going through the bad choices for movies that we know are terrible to watch on here for this season. Springs, you picked a good one. I think yours is gonna run away with it.
Oh boy.
There is nothing. What I like about this movie is only in concept. None of it's functional. So I have no plans to ever watch this again. The animation was decent at times. The music was mediocre at its best. There was nothing really else appealing to me for me to ever want to watch this again. I can see myself making a drinking game out of this, but that requires effort for this movie, and I don't want to give that effort. Like I actively
It's just a
don't.
waste of money.
Yeah, it's just a waste of money and
money.
time. So subjectively, there's not really much for me to grasp here that I really liked. Anything I liked was ruined subsequently by something else. So yeah, this is an easy subjective one for me. And I guess for objective, this is another one of those that just character work was inconsistent. Fucking all right. Hold on. Let me organize my thoughts a little bit better here. All right. So let's talk about the plot. The plot is rushed. The pacing is awful. It's very basic. He's just trying to rescue his mom from a dystopian Martian society. But it's dysfunctional because we are retroactively told our time jumps, and there's nothing indicative to us on screen when it's currently happening that convey it to the audience that enough time has passed for this to happen. Characters teleport from one place to the other. It's not good. The world building is fucking awful. We don't know how the machine works, as Crimson brought up multiple times, because it doesn't make any sense. We've brought up the science aspect a few times to make comparisons. It's still awful. The reasoning for the separation of genders in the Martian society was awful. Doesn't make any sense. The technology aesthetic can look cool at times, but once again, doesn't make a lot of sense in certain instances. Mars is hollow. It's fine. It's space sci-fi thing. We don't have much understanding of how much of Martian society works outside of the military aspect of it, and then the fact that everyone is forced to come for public execution, which is, hardcore, but it illustrates a specific point of how incongruent the society is, where they claim to be after order, but they still let the Martian males live because they're akin to disorder. So it's then also there's a lot of things like that are just incongruent. You'll find contradictions within itself within contradictions. It breaks down like that, which leaves characters, and if they were functional, that could probably save the movie. It doesn't, but I think from the beginning, Milo is a child that talks like an adult. It is a problem that plagues him throughout the whole film. Gerbil, Space Hobo Man, he has a character moment that could have been well supported if they bothered to put any effort into his character work too. There's a lot of odd niche choices that they decided to make that just kind of turn things upside down. Supervisor is vindictive. It is unclear, at least to me, whether she was aware of how Martian society used to function, or if this is just from her perspective how it always has been. And then key functions in concept. Like I said, I'm fine with art revolutions by art, but she starts falling apart the moment she started talking, which I guess is indicative of every single character in this film. So, unsurprisingly, this is gonna go down with Doctor Strange as my other number one. This was not good, objectively. I fucking hate it. I never want to come back to it. The character work eats itself, the world building destroys itself, and there's nothing here.
2 1s?
Yep.
Ooh, we got the lowest of the low.
We got the
I don't know if
lowest
we have a name for one of
possible
these.
ever.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I guess on mine, Doctor Strange, I gave it, so I upped the subjective because I still liked a lot of things aesthetically about the movie, but here there was nothing for me to latch onto that aesthetic wise that I even liked.
Double threat.
Yeah. So.
Pretty hollow.
All right, take it away, Crimson.
Well, I gotta work to counter these numbers here, because I'll start with my subjective. Although this was a trash movie, I did not find myself hating watching it. Actually, I enjoyed this more than Chippendale. Yeah, I think. And because of that, and I'm comparing it to other things, like I brought up Planet 51. I think that is less enjoyable for me. But I will, with all this praise I'm giving, it is a movie I won't watch again, of course. So I am putting it at a subjective 4. Objectively, the writer did a pretty thorough job, but I'll focus more on the visual aspect.
Make me go last next time.
I think that... No, that's all right.
Not doing this
the
movie
visual
again
aspect
next time.
of stuff. So I think the visuals look really good, especially for 2011. It didn't get the full Polar Express-ness of it. The shoot, what was it called?
Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley. I could want to say Silicon. I know that's not right. Uncanny
Oh,
Valley.
that's fucking funny.
It didn't reach that for me. I think it looked pretty decent in those regards. A couple animation errors, as we pointed out, but pretty small blemishes. Overall, very well detailed. His hoodie, when running, very fluid looking, pretty realistic cloth animations. The way they converted our human mocap faces to these Martian faces was pretty good, especially with the exaggerated eyes and stuff. It worked pretty well. And in terms of voice acting, I think it was all fine. Nothing really shouted out as bad to me, I suppose. What was the other point? Oh, characters. That's what I was going to talk about. None of the characters really broke out of character. For me, I agree that what's his face again? Milo was definitely an adult in a child's body there, literally and figuratively, because it was Seth Green with mocap. But he did act older than his age. I think that Gribble was pretty decent through this, even with his incompetent moments, like pressing the wrong button and opening all the cells. But his backstory was decent. Could have been amazing, but with what they got, I think it was good enough for his character. And Key existed. I didn't like the whole 70s thing. That's more of a subjective thing. So overall, most of these points are going towards the visuals and production stuff, unless the writing. So I'm giving it a. I give it a 3.5 or 3. I gave it a 3. 3. Objective. All right.
Right,
Okay.
Sinister.
Well, to, I guess, try to tread on some new ground, I will start out by saying that I think the basic idea of this movie merits a movie. I think there's enough just basic and functional that I can understand why this was made, because I don't think anything is wrong, the idea per se. And I think the animation, motion capture, and all that stuff, and I know how much work that all takes, and especially now, this was like, 12, 13 years ago, was even more than what it would take now. Now it's pretty much everywhere. So that's the good stuff. I'll say that they all did a good job in setting that up. I think most of the issues just came in the form of execution. I think once you go down this rabbit hole of doing a movie a certain way, and then you kind of have to release it, unfortunately, and I feel bad for a lot of the people that kind of got ruined by being a part of this in some form or fashion. I'm sure most of the animation department was fine, but the people who had done better stuff than this before kind of got screwed over afterwards, unfortunately. So yeah, for all the good stuff in it, and there is some, I have to go. I'm going to give this a 2 just because the things I like about it are good, and there is work, and I can't say that they were lazy. Well, I can't say that the people I like were lazy. I think the writers definitely got just I don't even know. Most of the stuff I just don't understand how these problems got through, like
redrafts, assuming they redrafted.
I don't know. I mean, that's even still. There's that one scene in the very beginning of him saying all of his feelings. I've taken some writing classes, and that's rule number one. You don't, if you can show it emotionally, don't fucking write it. Show, don't tell is the rule. So, whatever. But, so yeah. 2 is I want it. I just because I know that it was a lot of work, and even if I don't like it, I think there's a base level decent stuff in there. I don't feel good about giving it any higher than a 2. I can't. I was gonna give it a 1, but I think all the stuff that needs to make this be an actual thing are done well, and then everything else that's supposed to lift it up is just done shittily and terribly. So they get a 2.
Okay. On to me.
You got it.
What to
surprise
start
us.
with? I'll start with objective. All right. Objectively, this movie gets at least 1 point because I sat all the way and watched it all. I watched the whole movie, so it gets a 1 at least. Now let's build up from there. Oh boy. The cinematography of this movie is very basic. The one scene that showed a little difference to me was putting down the headset to show Gribble on the holocron before getting shot, to go back to Milo as like a fluid transition of 2 scenes in one. Thought that was fine, pretty cool. Everything else fine. Music was decent. It's better than the music in Left Behind, where it did not match the scenes it was being played in. In this movie, it did match. The action had the action parts. The sad backstory of Gribble had the piano that Crimson talked about, so the music matched. Thought that was fine. Lighting, okay. I mean, nothing to me in lighting really stood out, other than when Toucan was first introduced. It was blinding to cover up, I guess, what he was. Like, oh, it's a mystery. What is this thing? So other than that, the lighting was fine. Costume department, I talked about Milo. Crimson said his shoes were worn out, so that's a nice detail. But they didn't put the strings on his hoodie so they wouldn't have to animate them, because I guess they were already putting time and animation in the other clothes to make them look fluid. Gribble's outfit had the details on it, which was fine. Yeah, the rest of the clothes were okay. They the Martians had their normal jumpsuit look. They had their armor look. The male ones had the hippie look. So there was different, I guess, flair to outfits. God, what else is there to tackle in this? The writing, Ryder and Crimson talked about it. Yeah, the character. Yeah, they talked about it. The world building. Oh boy, it's all been touched on. I agree. Yeah, I don't know what other aspects I'm forgetting. Sound. It was good. Slight detail of when they're speaking human, or at least key speaking human, matches up. But then when they're translating, it has a delay because it's translating it. It's off, but it makes sense. Guess that's about. Oh, the animation looks fine for 2011. The mocap, I think the mocap was actually pretty darn well. It did go with the facial expressions and everything. It made the characters look like they're actors portraying them, and voice acting was fine. So objectively, I'm giving it a 3. Yeah, just a 3. Subjective. This movie sucks. You can tell none of us really liked it, since we seem to keep derailing to talk about other better movies throughout, to try to just give us a little bit of
We're coping.
serotonin to spark our joy before getting dragged back in to finish this. As a kid, I remember this being one of the worst movies I've ever seen. As an adult now, rewatching it, There's a little bit of jokes and humor thrown in that I didn't catch the first time that are in now, but it's like, it's still targeted as family kid movie, so it's made for like the adults to watch with their kids kind of humor, like Shrek. And I'm sorry I compare it to Shrek. Shrek does it far better. But this movie still blows. I'll never watch it again. I never want to watch it again. I'm giving it a 2. It's bad.
All right, we've got some
Oh,
very low numbers today.
Christ. It's done.
Objective complete on that.
Oh my god, we made it. Lived. All right. Shall I read us out, boys?
Yes, please.
All right. As always, audience, you can find us on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Amazon, Castbox, and Pocket Cast. And as always, we have our visual meet on YouTube. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and tell us how much you hate our opinions or how much you love our opinions. I'm gonna get a drink. As always, I've been a geeky writer.
I'm Crimson Maroon.
I'm a character called Sinister Boy.
And I'm Sprinks. And boy, tune in next week for more.
Yeah, and we'll catch you all next time. Later, everybody.
Bye.
Toodaloo.
Bye.